You ready?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. We're back in the throne room with the man himself.
You already know what the
Slim
fuck
Reaper.
is up. How is everybody doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm having a great day. It's beautiful outside. It's a nice day. You know, can't complain one bit.
Absolutely.
We alive, baby.
We had snow the other day, and now we're back.
Yeah, you know,
Ohio. Here we go.
typical Ohio. I was gonna say that night. I remember we ran to a store as it was snowing. When we got to the store, when we came out, it was raining, and I was like, "It's winter, baby. It's winter."
Exactly. Excellent, man. Well, I appreciate you having the time, and I'm stoked that you were also not a morning person, because I'm not a morning person either. And you're like, man, maybe like 2. I was like, 2 is fantastic.
Yes.
I can sleep in a little bit.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I appreciate that. So I usually kick things off with the name. How did we get the name Slim Reaper?
Alright, so I've been wanting to make music for a while, and I kind of started, like, writing some stuff, didn't make anything yet. Went to a party with a couple rappers that I had met, and that was the first time I freestyled in front of anyone. I was like, yo, what's up, guys? And this dude was like, yo, I fuck with it, like, what's your name? And I was like, I don't really know. And he was like, come up with something that can kind of describe you, and then something else, like a general idea that you like. So he was like, for you, you could do like Slim or like Lil, something like that. So immediately I was hooked with Slim. Yeah. And then didn't use it at first, so I came up with the worst name ever. It's really embarrassing because I was trying to be like all edgy and I listened to Ghostman at the time. Okay. And I came up with the name Psycho Fiend.
Psycho Fiend? Ooh.
And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm going to use this. And then did not like it at all, though. I was like, I kind of sound edgy. And so I remember I was in the bathroom, like, thinking of names, and I ripped a bong, and literally just Slim Reaper came to mind. And I was just like, oh, my God, it's like Grim Reaper. And so, like, I hit up a bunch of people. I was like, do you guys think this is dope? And everyone was like, dude, that's you. Yeah. And I was just like, okay. And then from there, I was like, I'm never changing it. Like, that, it was cemented from day one. I was like, okay, here we are, baby.
That's awesome. Do you believe, I guess, in, like, because I've heard a lot of people have similar things where they're like, I was searching for, like, this thing, and then the universe was like, wham, here it is. Do you feel like you were always Slim Reaper, or that you had, like, you were ready for it to manifest itself or present itself? And
I have been wanting to do music ever since a kid and just never had the balls to do it. I was just too scared. And I just always wanted to do it, and whenever, like, anyone was not around, I was like this. Like, this is who I was when I could be by myself. I was like, I'm this. Finally got into high school, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take it a step further. I started wearing makeup, which I'm too lazy to do now. Yeah. And then that's kind of when, like, Slim Reaper began, was in high school, because then I was like, you know what, I'm done kind of, like, hiding. And then, when I created Slim Reaper, that's when I was like, the point of it is so I can just finally be like, yo, this is everything I've tried to be, and I've been too scared of my whole life. Yeah. I'm done being scared, and, like, I'm just like, I'm doing everything I want to do. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That was even more like, maybe not, it was inspiration, but even more like great than I was expecting. I was, that's awesome, man. So I guess because you mentioned high school, and I mean, what was like young Slim Reaper? What was young you like growing up, and how was your just,
So growing up, my parents split up when I was like really young, and my sisters were both like 8-10 years older than me. So they were kind of like doing their thing. So I kind of always grew up like kind of by myself, just kicking it. My mom was always working and shit.
You were like under 10 when they split up?
Yeah, I was in second grade.
Second grade. Okay.
That's the one thing I remember. And so and I had always like at that age, one of my favorite things to do when I could be alone, which was a lot of the time, was go in my room, get something I could pretend was a guitar, put on music, and I jump on my bed and pretend I'm in a rock band. I just be like, yeah. And then that carried on all throughout my life. Even in high school, when my parents would leave, I'd dress up back when I used to respect and like Marilyn Manson a lot. I don't fuck with him anymore. But I used to dress up like him, go downstairs, put on his music, and I'd do like pretend concerts as Marilyn Manson. I'd get like into it, bro. Like,
that's awesome.
And I'd do like costume changes in the middle. Like I'd go like change my outfit and come back. Like I just always wanted to do it, but I was just so scared. And like one day I just heard Bones and kind of like started doing it. But young Slim Reaper, like I was just always listening to music, kind of like fucking with that, and just always on my own and just playing video games. Like in school, like I had a big group of friends that I hung out with, but out of school I never really like kicked it with them. I had like 2 friends that weren't even in that group that I hung out with, And like I was just kind of a loner. Like I just kind of liked hanging out, like not being around a lot of people. 'Cause
Yeah.
then I could just, like I said, I was always wanting to like be something else when I wasn't around people. So like when I was alone, I was like, okay, like here I am.
Yeah.
Like it was nice.
So you always were you almost felt like a rock star even as like a little kid. You were just like, there's something in me that's like, I am a rock star, and it was like, had to come out.
Oh yeah, like I used to always like pretend I was in rock bands, and like one thing if I could ever, I've never even tried to get into it. I think it'd be fun was I kind of wanted to be an actor as a kid.
Okay.
Like I was always kind of like one of the two. I always wanted to be Brendan Fraser from The Mummy.
From The Mummy.
Yep, he had like
interesting choice of Brendan Fraser.
he had like the suspenders on in there, and like
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were. So I remember at one point I found a pair of overalls and put those on, and they had like the straps over my shoulders.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm Brendan Fraser. I
From
just
The
looked like a
Mummy.
little farmer kid, and I'm just
That's
like,
sweet.
yes.
That's
Like,
awesome.
The Mummy was like, I fucking love that movie. I thought he was the most badass dude ever. I used to love having little 6-shooters as a kid
Yeah.
because he had those in the movie, and I was like, yeah, bro, I'm
That's
cool.
sweet. So were you like an entertainer as a kid, or you almost was like when people are around, you're one way, and then as soon as everyone's gone, now you're like rock star, like performing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I wasn't necessarily like more like rock star when people were around, but I would definitely I don't like being around people, like I said, and it makes me uncomfortable. So the one thing I do when I'm uncomfortable with something is try and dive harder than you could ever dive into it, and you won't. You
okay.
just try. You kind of force yourself to deal with it.
Yeah.
So when I'm in groups of people, ever since a kid, I was always just kind of like, all right, I don't like this, and to get over it, I need to find a way to enjoy it. And if I
Yeah.
can get talking with you and I can force something that we can talk about,
Right.
I can enjoy it a little bit and we can get through it. So I just be like, all right, what's up? And I just try and find like someone and be like, hey, can I connect with any of you? And I just be like in elementary school, I used to pull up to school with a book bag full of wrestlers all the time.
Oh, like the action
And
figures?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I just hand them out to people and be like, yo, like, you guys want to play? Like, what's up? Like, who wants to play? Like, and I just be
Yeah.
like, come on, like, if you guys fuck with this, I fuck with you. Like,
Right.
here we are. What's up? And so, like, yeah, I definitely always kind of tried to like just kind of make people happy and like help people enjoy themselves too, because I knew I kind of wasn't sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I can definitely relate to that as well, of just kind of like, maybe slightly different, because I would almost be bored if I'm in a group of people and like I can't connect with anybody, or we're just having small talk conversations or whatever. It's like, let's talk about something, let's do something, let's whatever, or let me be funny or something, make this more fun. So
Yeah.
definitely can relate to that, man. That's awesome. Real quick follow-up question on Slim Reaper, because this is like for no reason, I'm just curious. 1 word versus 2 words. Was there even a decision?
Okay,
there?
no. So how that happened? I'd been listening. Like I said, Bones was a big inspiration
Yeah.
at the time. So he does a lot of the like no spaces kind of thing. So I really kind of liked the look of that. So that was kind of what originally made me be like, all right, I'm not doing a space. I'm just doing Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
And then right after I came up with the name, I remember like I think I dropped my first song and I was like, can I find myself on Google? And I tried. It's really hard, man, because Kevin Durant, bro, his nickname is Slim Reaper, and he never used to he actually used to be like, yo, I don't like this name. And then apparently I read an article this year, he was like,
You know what,
I kind of like it. I was like, you motherfucker. Because that used to be my saving grace. When people would bring that up, I'd be like, he doesn't like it, guys. I know.
Yeah.
I've done it.
He told me, he was like...
And so, but because of that, because that's like Slim Space Reaper, that would always come up first. So I was like, all right, I definitely want to make it a thing. You can find me easier with no space.
Yeah.
And then there's also quite a few other random rappers at the same level as me. And we all have the name Slim Reaper. I'm the only one I've seen without the space. So that I can tell people, be like, yo, you can find it easier like that. And then like, if they're looking it up when you see no space, I'm like, yeah, that's guaranteed me.
Right.
So
that's
it's like,
awesome, because
nice.
a lot of people don't think about that, and I'll try to search them or whatever. I'm like, dude, I can't find anything on you. How are you supposed to get famous? If there's 50 other, things. So that's a good move. Well thought out.
The main thing after the Kevin Durant, the main thing was just because, like I said, the searching it, because on SoundCloud, I'll pop up quicker if you don't add a space. So it's like,
Exactly.
okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you still have the, slight attachment to the Bones and everything, which is kind of the roots and stuff like that.
Yes, shout out Bones. If I never heard his music, I would not be doing this shit. That's definite truth.
Yeah, and great segue, actually, because I was curious, how did you get exposed to music? I mean, you said even young Marilyn Manson, kind of rock star and whatever. I know if you've listened, you probably know I was brought up Christian talk radio. It was the only thing my parents let me listen to. So how did you get kind of exposed to different artists, bands, and then eventually Bones and everything else?
So, my dad, I definitely take my music from him. He is not anymore, but growing up until like the last 5 years, he has been religiously obsessed with the Beatles.
Okay.
And like that is his thing. I remember when my parents were together, there was a whole room in the house that I fucking destroyed as a kid. I feel so bad now. It was called the Beatles room, and it was my dad, like, he just had all his Beatles memorabilia. He had like a piano and a guitar he could play. I used to like put fruit in it and like slam the top of the like piano.
The Beatles room, though.
Yeah, I feel so bad. But yeah, he was always in tribute bands too.
Okay.
And so like I used to go and see my dad perform on stage, and he would always play as John Lennon. And so that's where I got the like, I want to be like, pretend like I'm someone else and like do what they're doing. If you're my inspiration and idol, I'm gonna kind of try it.
Yeah.
And so he was always into that. And then I liked the Beatles a lot, but then my mom listened to good music. Like, Beatles are great.
Yeah.
Just very old. Like, they're, for me, it's, whenever I hear them, it's pure nostalgia, childhood.
Right.
That's why I like it.
And it's a very unique style of the Beatles, and it's like, they branched out a little bit, but not genre-bending artists. Yeah.
And but my mom, she got me hip, and I'm talking like kindergarten. Like, I loved it because they said fuck so much.
Oh, yeah.
Limp Bizkit. She got me hip to Limp Bizkit.
Man, what a cool mom.
And like,
mom's changing the station. No.
Like, yeah, she would play shit like that, and then she, for some reason, I even like before my parents split, I always was like obsessed with like just really depressing sad music.
Yeah.
And like she would play Stained, and I was just like, bro, this is so good.
They
like,
get me.
I was like, yeah, I was like, why is this guy sad? But I like it. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was like, it was heat. So she got me hip to good music, and like I listened to a lot of the stuff she listened to growing up. And then, yeah, like I said, I kind of got into, like, I went through a Bob Marley phase.
Okay.
And I went through the Rasta phase, which I still fucking, I love the color combo of Rasta stuff.
Yeah,
I hate it because, like, I smoke weed, so I try not to do anything with it. Yeah. I hate those dudes that are all just like, I smoke weed, Rasta.
Smoke weed.
Yeah, like, I try not to be like that. But I still like those colors a lot. And, like, but then I got into Marilyn Manson, literally it went from one to the other. Was
that from mom, or you just one day just discovered him?
So we have a really like weird family movie. It's called Life is a House, and it's about like this fucked up emo son who's big into drugs and Marilyn Manson, and one of his songs is in the movie. That's how I discovered him.
Okay.
And it was like a family movie. And so, like, I remember watching it one day in high school, and I was like, dude, that song's like really good. So I Googled it.
Yeah.
I liked it, and then I listened to some interviews first, and I was like, dude, this guy's like, I used to think he was like a cool, intelligent guy. I was like, holy shit. And so I started fucking with him, like, just on a whole new level. Like, I had every shirt, like, posters all over my room.
He always had
like,
dope shirts, too. Like, it was always
dude,
great clothing.
I luckily, now that I don't fuck with them anymore, I still have them because a lot of them are worth money.
I can imagine, for sure.
And so I'm just gonna sell them all. I actually, when everything came to light about, like, all his recent shit he did, I left all the Facebook groups I was in, and then immediately was like, wait, let's take advantage of this, join them back up, pretend I'm a fan, and then try and sell my merch. So I've slowly been doing that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, then I got into Manson for a while, and I was just big into like the dark rock stuff for a while, and metal. Then when I started smoking a lot of weed and just going to parties all the time, I started liking rap a lot more, and I was like, all right. And dude, Juicy J and 3-6 was my shit.
Yup.
And then I got into Lil White, and then I went to a party, and my dude was playing Xavier Wolf, 100th Blunt of the Day.
Okay.
And it has a sample from a female artist named Enya, and I call it mom music. It's one of the stuff my mom used to listen to.
Yeah.
Wolf sampled it, and I was in the car like, what is this, bro? And like,
that twinge, like,
dude, I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, and so I kept trying to find it, finally hit him up, and he was like, oh, you can find it on SoundCloud. So I downloaded that, found the song, and then my buddy was like, oh, you have SoundCloud now? You should look up this dude named Bones. And I was living in PA at the time. I'm from Cleveland area, so I'm like, dude, I know about Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro. I'm from Cleveland. I know about them. And he's like, he looked at me like I was so dumb. He's like, that is not who I mean. I'm like, oh shit, my bad, bro. So he showed me Bones, and I loved him off rip, but the song that did it was Cut. I used to work at a car wash. I was walking down getting some supplies, and it came on, and like I said, I love depressing music.
Yeah.
And I also like rap. Mm-hmm. So when I heard that, I was like, this dude has a bunch of songs that are hard as fuck about rapping, and he's also sitting here about to make you cry on a song.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, people are doing this, and I was just like, that's it. I was like, I'm making music now. Like that was enough to be like, I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, because like Marilyn Manson was mainly like heavy, and then he had some emo songs, but like it was kind of different. Like Bones was like talking about like things that I can relate to. So I was just like, wow, like this is fucking like just next level. Like and yeah, ever since then, like I used to freestyle on Bones songs.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even find the instrumentals. I would just put on a Bones song and freestyle.
Just do it louder than him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
I used to do that. That's how it started. And then, yeah, like I said, I went to that party one day and just kind of heard people freestyling, so I did it there, and they were just like, do it, bro.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was all born from then, and I just never stopped.
That's awesome.
I got my small like studio set up at the house, and the second I got enough pieces, like is before I had like a pop filter and everything, I just got the mic and my laptop and my Focusrite, and then I was like, bet, and I just started going. And
that's awesome.
It was around 2017, and dude, yeah, I met like music has changed my life. Like, I mean, we've met purely because of this. I mean, every person that I interact with now, like my roommate that I live with, I met through music, and he moved from Baltimore, Maryland to Ohio, and he lives with me now, and it's like that was because of music. Like, it's just, dude, it's so mind-boggling and so amazing, like how much it's done, and as much shit, I definitely talk a lot of shit on the internet a lot about how bad the internet is.
Right.
But, dude, the things it can do also, though, is amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know if you experience this as well, but for me interacting with other people on a daily basis and like at my job and just in public, it's like there's some different interaction, and then I'll meet another creative person, they make music or videos or whatever, and it's like this instant kind of connection, and we can talk about like our brains work the same way, and it's super nice. So even music lets you meet like-minded people, and you know, I get to have instant friendships with people just based on the fact that we create things as opposed to like something else. Yeah,
it is a very relatable thing because it's just so much. I mean, generally for most artists, at least I would hope, generally a lot of people are putting a lot of passion into it.
Right.
And when you hear someone else being like, yeah, I do the same thing, it's like you kind of just like run, like it's not like you think about it like subconsciously. I feel like you just run through your head and you're like, damn, like think of all the work I do to this and like everything I put into it and how much I enjoy putting into it, and they're over here doing the same thing. Like, of course, we can find a common ground and connect. Like,
for sure, it's definitely
gonna happen. Like,
that's awesome, and I'm glad that we got to link up just from creativity and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I met all of Another Lost Cause through it. Just met them online and started hitting them up and became like their fangirl for a while. I was just like, dude, I love you guys. And now I'm in a collective with them, living with them, and it's just like, dude, like I love it so much.
That's incredible. So we'll get into that in a second, but before I forget, because you said you always kind of wanted to make music, but then once you kind of heard Bones and stuff, you started doing it. What was the music you originally, I don't say originally wanted to make, but when you're picturing, I want to make music, what was that versus when you started rapping, I guess?
So originally it was very much so like Marilyn Manson, basically. I started a band in high school. Never got all the members. Never even
starting it. Like.
Yeah, we never even like had a point where we sat down and were like, let's think of writings. Like, it was literally just like we created our name. We then created an Instagram for a band that had no content or like idea of content, and it was just a dude who could play an acoustic guitar and me.
Yeah.
And we had two dudes who could play acoustic guitar. Okay. And we were just like, yeah, let's do this. And they're like, we'll learn electric. And then we're like, we'll find a drummer and a keyboardist. And we're just like, it'll all just happen. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to do like some stuff like that. And I definitely I always wanted to yell on the mic because one thing that even to this day, like I feel really embarrassed anytime if something happens and I get angry in front of my friends and stuff, I get embarrassed. I don't like being angry.
Yeah.
I just feel like your judgment gets very clouded. You do things you don't mean to do, and then you look like a fool. And like,
right.
So I It doesn't usually happen often. Like usually, unless I'm like playing a game, like I'll just be like, "Oh fuck this fucking game."
I've
like,
never gotten as mad as I have unless I'm playing a game.
yeah, that's the one I love. I'm like, "Yo, fuck this fucking game." Like just like I'm doing so good, and then I die. This game's fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like so, I'll be like that. But like no, like I generally don't like to get angry and show that side of me around people.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I used to pretend I was making music and like performing. So I would like do a Manson song, and I'd be fucking yelling in my living room, and I was like. Oh, since I don't like to do this around people in a way that makes me look goofy, this is a way where I can yell, get that emotion out,
right?
And they can also be like, I'm connecting with you.
Yeah, they want to be doing that too and yelling and whatever.
So I was like, damn, that's it. Like that, it's like for me to this day, dude, it's so nice. Even if I'm not in a bad mood, like I could be bubbly happy, and then just go in the booth and like start yelling, and I'm just like, oh, it just feels good to yell.
Yeah, you get
like,
that tingly feeling. Yeah,
I'm just like, man, it's just like I'm just really in here just yelling at the top of my lungs, having a good time. Like it's
awesome.
It's great. It's a good stress relief. Like and then like when like anytime I do get mad, I can just sit by myself, write my little lyrics, go in there. Embarrass myself in there, and then like when I show it to people, I'll be like, "Yo, fuck you," and then people are like, "Hey, it doesn't sound like it's on a song; it sounds heat," instead of me being mad and just sounding like a goofball.
Yeah,
so
like, I feel like you channeled it into that, and you like I don't know, transmuted it or something, took all that energy, you're like, boom, now it's a song instead of me being yelling and being silly.
Yeah, just like like you said, just instead of people just sitting there seeing me yell in the middle of the room, like now it has purpose.
Exactly.
It's got a reason.
Yeah. And that I wanted to ask too, I guess, do you play any instruments?
I am so fucking lazy and have not learned. If I were to, so 3 instruments I want to do would be violin, piano, and acoustic guitar.
Ooh, those are 3 excellent choices.
Just because of, like, I still have never learned how to make beats, but like when I hear instrumentals, like those are the 3 instruments that I hear, and I'm like, dude, I just love instrumentals with them 3, and like I'd love to learn how to do it and be able to do it myself, because any musician that does that, I respect them so much more, and I'm like, you fucking made that?
Yeah.
Wow, like one artist, Kill Station, he plays so many instruments.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that would be so awesome to just sit there, have a little sound in your head, and then be like, I can recreate that.
Yeah, be able to get it out.
Yeah, like let me just grab, because going back to like the screaming, I can just go and scream on the mic when I have that, like if I have that thought of like I can make this beautiful instrumental, and then like if I could go do it, dude, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Like that'd be sweet. So much love and respect to any producer out there that's doing that. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I was curious because it sounded like your dad plays guitar, so I didn't know if there was any, like, you were like, I want to also play guitar or something, or for the band, I'm assuming you were going to do vocals then? Yeah,
so I was going to do vocals in the band, ever since I was in my Brendan Fraser phase, I remember I wanted to play guitar, and my ass just, I'm really bad at, like, actually starting to do something. If I pick something up, I'll usually run with it and fuck with it.
Right.
But just
picking it up in the first
getting
place.
there, like, I kind of need someone to be like, I'm really weird because I like to do things alone, but I also like someone to be there, like, next to me, so I could kind of, like, watch them do it and then be like hide a little bit, like, do it myself and try it, fail once, and then get it and be like, okay, now, like, let's do this together. And then, like, so, like, I'm just really weird.
Yeah.
But,
that makes sense.
Yeah. That is a big goal of mine, because if I could just learn acoustic guitar, I wouldn't even need to worry about learning producer stuff. I could just go in there and track some guitars on a track, and I'd enjoy that. Like, I wouldn't need no beats.
Right.
Like, I'd be okay with just a guitar.
And you could probably figure out piano, and maybe not violin, just figuring it out, because I feel like there's technique involved, but if you play one, I mean, I kind of... My parents took me in piano classes, like, when I was, like, 8, 9. I was like, fuck this, I don't care, I hate this, and I wish they would have either done it later in my life or that I would have cared somehow at that point, because it's like, it was dumb and I didn't want to do it. Now I'm like, Devin, you could have learned how to play the piano. Like, I could play all hot songs and stuff, but then when I switched to guitar, it's like, I can kind of figure it out from the notes and stuff, and I have a little bit. If you put me on one, I can, like, these are the notes that sound good or whatever. So
yeah.
Probably just learning one of them, you'd be able to translate.
And, yeah, my dad, he's always wanted me to play, because my dad's always been like, he always is like, son, your fingers are so long and mine are stubby. He's always like, you need to play guitar, son. And then he sees me grow my hair out, and he was always like, oh,
please.
He's like, you'd be a perfect Let It Be John Lennon. He's like, you'd be the perfect Let It Be John, son. And I'm just like, honestly, like I said, I like the Beatles a lot, but I'm just like, I like dressing like this, so it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
That makes sense. So I was listening to, like I said, your other interview that you did, and you mentioned Motionless in White, and I was super curious because how did like hardcore and metalcore and stuff like that get introduced to your life, and are there any other bands besides Motionless in White that you know?
So okay, it was in that age and phase when all of people our age were going through their scene phase. All right.
Yeah.
So that's when I was into Manson, and he's more like old school, and I liked a lot of the old school stuff. Like I liked Deftones and CKY and System of a Down. That was like my thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like obsessed with Manson. So on Twitter there was this fandom we're all called the Manson Family, and it's just all a group of people who we all loved Manson together. If any of them somehow are watching this, I fucking love you guys. I haven't talked to them in like
Shouts out
fucking
Manson Family.
like 10 years. They were all so cool. Like we were literally like just so tight knit, and every one of them started listening to Motionless in White because the lead singer Chris, everyone was like, oh, he's like the Manson reincarnate now.
Right.
He's the new era Manson. So I finally one day was like, all right, I'll check it out. I ended up actually really liking them and like fell into them heavy. I saw them live, and I liked a band called Like Moths to Flames.
Yeah.
Loved them on like a whole new level too. Like the two of them were like my idols for a while, and that was the only thing I listened to.
Yeah.
Never got into any other scene shit. Like never listened to like I couldn't name you a Sleeping with Sirens song.
Yeah.
Like Pierce the Veil, Bring Me the Horizon. My buddy listened to it's the one with Andy, Blackville Brides.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My buddy listened to them. I couldn't name you a song, but like he listened to them, and I knew like at the time there was like 2 or 3 that I thought weren't terrible.
Yeah.
But I never got into the scene stuff other than those 2 bands, and then like I listened to like just more like old head metal, like when it came to like screaming metal, because I don't count Manson as metal. He's kind of like soft. Like that's why why I liked him, because he was more like chill. It was just like talking about dark stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I liked like Lamb of God and stuff like that when it came to like actual like metal.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you had heard, I guess, other, like a Whitechapel or like some of those other ones, and you're like, not really,
so,
but Motionless in White and them was kind of the line?
Whitechapel was good. I remember actually, I have a buddy who's in a band, and he got me hip to Whitechapel, and there was like a 2-day period where I remember whatever album he got me into, I did like that album for a minute, and it never stuck though.
Yeah.
It never really stuck. I think Motionless in White, like I said, he was a lot like Manson. Like I really like the people who are like with bands. I love a very strong frontman that's like, here I am, and they're like the encompass. I love bands like that.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of like that. So I really fucked with him. And then like Moths to Flames, I saw them live. So I think that made me be like, you know what, they were cool live.
Yeah.
Because when I hear a song live, I usually appreciate it more. Like with Manson. Most famous song, "The Beautiful People." Literally all my fan life of him, I hated it till I saw him live and was like, okay, it just turned up live. That was pretty cool. But like I was always like, eh. But yeah, once I saw it live, I was like, dude, I just saw everyone going crazy. Like I remember that environment. I just remember seeing everyone so happy, and like I just kind of like takes me back to that moment. And I'm like, okay, I can appreciate it now.
Yeah, I've had songs and bands even live either makes me like them or I don't like them anymore. I'm just like, oh gosh, like it's gonna be hard to listen to this now, knowing what I just have witnessed. So
I forget who it was. I think it was Xavier Wolf was saying something about how that's your make it or break it point as a musician. He was like, a lot of people can like you. He's like, but if you can't keep it live, he's like, people will not want to give a shit because like that really is it. And that was like how I said I used to practice stuff. Once I got into my music, I would practice my stuff so much. And before my first show, like I had my set list and was practicing it. And the one thing everyone told me is like, dude, it's so hot upstage. So I would go in my bathroom, shut all the doors, and there was a mirror in there, and it was a really small room.
Yeah.
And I'd put on a pair of like really skinny jeans, a pair of pants that were loose, put those over them. Put on like a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket, zip it all up, and I'd practice in that. So I was like weighed down, and I was fucking so hot. Yeah. And I was just, and dude, cool. I was doing that, and then the second I got on stage, like I just remember like I was standing there nervous as shit, but I heard my beat drop, and I was like, I've done this 50 times. Right. So I just pretended I was in my bathroom, and I was just like feet off the ground jumping, and then I was like, dude, I'm not that hot right now. I'm in like normal clothes. Right. So I was like, I can do this. I can breathe. Like, and so like I was just like, okay. And I definitely performing. I definitely was like, that's a thing where I was like, I'm not gonna be that dude that's up there going, hey, A in the
Yeah.
middle of a hard ass verse. I'm
Right.
like, I'm not gonna do that.
Because they're out of breath and whatever.
Yeah, because there's so many times I see someone like they'll go hard as shit the first half of their song, and then they'll get tired, and then it comes to, like the chorus comes back, and they're like, yeah.
Mic out for everybody.
Yeah, they're doing the mic out.
Help me out, please. Like.
And like I'll do that like for certain times. Like there's usually like when I practice, I'll find like one word where I'm like, I'm gonna put the mic out, take a breath, come back.
Yeah.
But I try and do it real quick where I'm just like for my most like performed song, it's Fuck Yo Set. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Point it, catch my breath. Why are you talking? All that, and like I'll come back but it's literally just real quick. Like.
Right. That's so cool to hear that you actually like took the time to practice and do that, because I think so many people are like, oh, I know how to do this, and they get up there and they are the people that you're describing, people we've seen, and that's just inspiring to know that you're like, you take it seriously.
Oh
and
yeah,
you're gonna practice to make it good.
I usually like now like since I've performed as much as I have, like when I set my set list up, I try and do it where I'm like, if I usually open up with a really heavy song, and then I'm like, after that I need to get a song where I might like, if it's heavy again, I need to have a point where it's a long intro before I come in so I can get my breath. Because that's one thing, too. That running out of breath, like, is just, dude, it happens so quick.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm not good at, like, I need to get better at my crowd interaction. Like, Blossom Reynolds is so good at this. He'll just be, like, up there, and then he'll just stop, and he'll just be like, hold on real quick, and he'll, like, cut the show for a quick second, and he'll just be like, I'm fucking tired. And, like, everyone's laughing. He's like, is anyone just tired? And like it's just like goofy, and like he's just lightening the mood, everyone's happy, and like he can catch his break, and he'll just be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
like I gotta get better at doing stuff like that. But yeah, like when I had my headlining show, because I had like 30 minutes and like I'm not used to that, I was like, all right, I'm doing like a heavy song, and then I'm doing a feature where they come in first, and I can just go in the back and like just be like,
very smart,
and just go die for a minute. And then like I did an interlude in the middle of it with actually, shout out our brother, rest in peace, Who Killed CJ.
Who Killed CJ, shouts out.
My headlining show, I had an intermission in between it where he made this instrumental one time where it was just a beautiful instrumental and a Kurt Cobain interview.
Oh, that's cool.
I put that in my live show. I just put that there, and I just sat down on my knees and just looked down. I didn't look up at the crowd once. I was just like, just like, oh.
And they thought, whoa, what a like emotional moment. You're really
it really looked like my buddy, this dude that we used to have in ALC, his name is Switch. He fucking got an amazing picture, and I was just like sitting there like, oh, and like it looked so powerful, and I was literally just like, I was just breathing. I was just trying to breathe. Like that's it. But so,
who have you seen? Who's like the best live shows that you've seen that maybe inspired you, or maybe gave you some tips or tricks, or just being like, I want to be kind of like that because they did a really good job?
So a little backtrack to like starting was an artist used to go by the name Lil Crumb. He goes by Lil Avril now. Okay. He got an opening slot for Xavier Wolf. It was before I knew about Lil Peep, and like I said, I like the Emotional Bones.
Yeah.
He was a big fan of Lil Peep, and he would do like the emo music. So I heard him on stage, and I was just like, oh. And like he was the first person that I saw on stage, and like he wasn't famous at all. Like the first thing he said on stage is, hey, my name's Lil Crumb. Not a single person here knows who I am, but I'm about to try and turn it up. And I was just like, all right, maybe I could do that.
Right.
So then, like,
that,
and then he did the like where he pulled off the water and he was just like throwing water on people, and like I was like, okay, I can do some stuff like that. And then it was when I saw Bones live, and he was just jumping, like he would just like bounce completely across the stage. So I kind of do that. Like, I'll like bunny hop. Yeah. And just like be trying to like stay on my feet moving. And then who was it? The Xavier Wolf show. When I saw him on live, the energy that man had, like he just had that mic would just come up there and just be like fucking just like you see veins popping and like just sweat pouring, and he's just yelling, bro, and like the verses in his songs weren't even songs where he would yell, and he's just fucking belting it, bro. And I was just like, okay, that's like the energy I want, like and so it was a combination of them.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm trying to think of maybe a segue question. Oh, have you, just before I forget, have you ever listened to Chiodos? Okay. We'll talk more about that afterwards, but I think you might enjoy it based on like the kind of emotional but also heavy but also whatever, maybe not Motionless in White, but kind of but they're Cleveland and they got a
okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, did you ever go to Peabody's?
I never made it there.
Okay.
I'm very upset. I was yet again, how I say I'm like always too scared. It took me a long time to go to concerts. Like I'd always wanted to, and I finally went to a Manson one back in the day.
Was that your first one?
Yeah, it was Manson and Alice Cooper. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, that's sweet.
Kind of sucked, honestly though. I never, because he's old now. Manson was just, I was like, he's just doing all his hit songs, and like he's just old now.
Oh, okay.
Like it was really like in the moment.
Saw him, but it wasn't.
Yeah, in the moment I was like, this is so cool. But then I was just like, all right, I saw him. I don't need to see him again.
Yeah.
Like even though like I wore his shirts every day of the week, had posters, I was like, yeah, that's my favorite person in the whole world. But I was still like, yeah, like I've seen. Like,
like, where'd you see him at?
It was at Jacob's Pavilion.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was cool, but Alice Cooper put on a better show, like, because he just did so much theatrics. He did, like, the head getting cut off, the guillotine shit.
Man.
And then, like, he was singing this song called I'm 18. We were memeing it the whole time. We were like, I'm 80! And he was just up there, like, just pointing to people. But I was like, this man is, like...
you and
like, I was like, this man's up there still doing it, though. I was like, I respect... Like, he was at the point where I was like, he's super old, and I respect it.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So it was a fun show though.
Now, do you have a like in the vein of shows? Is there anything in your mind where like this would be if I had unlimited budget and a million people are coming to the show? What would your show would look like, or any theatrics or anything you would do? Or thought about it?
I'd love to get some really cool stage setup. I would probably let my girlfriend I'd be like, hey, you know what I like, because I'm really bad at bringing what I like into vision.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to cover art, it sucks because I hate being this guy, but I'm so bad at hitting up an artist and being like, can you do like this and this, or like do this idea?
Yeah.
I'm just so bad at it that I want to just be like, hey, I want to let you have artistic direction and let you take control.
Yeah.
But as an artist who's doing commission art, generally like I don't fucking want to. They're like, give me a fucking idea.
Right.
Like
exactly.
that's kind of like
read my mind. Come
yeah.
on,
They're kind of like, tell me what to do. Like that's why I'm here. Like I don't like. What do you want? Like
right.
So, that's one thing. But yeah, I do like a bunch of really crazy. I'd like some like cool like floating reapers probably. It's like some cool stage setup. Fireworks would be awesome, and I would love to like be able to try and like do like I like the thematical stuff like that Manson used to do on stage. Like I remember one show he would do like where he'd start yelling like fuck the police, and then he had someone come out dressed up as a cop and they had a shotgun and they like did the sound and made it seem like he got shot and he dropped on stage. And then he'd get back up, do an encore, and be like, you can't kill me, motherfuckers.
Oh, man.
And, like, so I just thought, like, the cool theatrical stuff, like, I'd love to do something like that, like, kind of, like, really try and, like, how I said, like, I'd pretend to do I'd like to do some costume changes, like, really, like, bring, like, a live energy to it, because that's the one thing, like, as I'm performing on stage, like, I'd like to make it, like, a very theatrical experience, like, you went and saw, like, not like a performance or like a musical show, but like you went like to Broadway and like you witnessed like a production. Yeah. I think that would be really cool.
That's awesome. And it's definitely tough because I grew up seeing like bands and stuff and there's 5 people up there. Some of them have energy, maybe some of them don't. But then going to rap shows, it's like, it's tough because it's one person or you have a bunch of people just jumping around who aren't doing anything. And it's like, it's tough to like really have a bunch of energy and make a show because you don't have the other people and instruments and stuff.
Yeah, like you just said, the instruments, I feel like that brings a lot to it because like you got a guitar player who's like generally, I'd hope, playing a guitar is like one of the things that makes them incredibly happy. So they're gonna be sitting there when they're like seeing this crowd of people enjoying it. Yeah, they're gonna just be like, yeah, like I'm rocking out, and then like it just makes you loosen up. Like at a rap show, like there's so many times where you go and like if you can't bring a crowd to it, it's like. A lot of the people here don't want to see me. They came here to see their friend.
And they're just like, can this guy be done? And
yeah. So I didn't know how I thought of the idea at first when I heard about it before I went to the show. There's this dude in Columbus area who sets up shows. His name is Sam Rothstein. Mm-hmm. And he set up a show at the Grog Shop, which is one of my favorite venues. And he had the most brilliant setup. He was doing it where every artist that was on the lineup came. You do 2 songs, next artist 2 songs, so forth like that. And then there was an intermission, and then they came back, and then each artist did 1 song. And so I remember hearing it, and I was like, damn, if I was like thinking of it like from my aspect, I was like, damn, I'd only get to perform 3 songs. But then I saw people performing it, and I was like, dude, I'd feel so good only doing it like that, because it's like, you do 8 songs. Right. Say you get through 3 of them. At that point, people have already heard it. If they don't like you, they're not gonna like you through the rest of your set. They're gonna sit there, walk out, get bored. It's gonna kill the entire mood of the show. Whereas you do 2, that first song, they're gonna be interested usually and be like, what's up? Yeah. You do a second one, that's when they can be like, I like it or I don't. If they don't like it, that was my last song, I'm getting off and new dude's up, and then you're back to being interested again. Like, the way he set it up, I was just like, dude, this was so fucking brilliant. Like, I if I ever can set up a show, I'm gonna go like that. Yeah. Like, headliners, if you can get a cool headliner, like, that'd be one thing. But that was more of like a showcase, trying to be like, I'm showcasing a bunch of very talented artists. Yeah. Here's how I can keep everyone interested in staying watching your set, and everyone stayed the whole show. Like, it was a great way to do it. I liked it.
That's really cool. And I mean, mentioning that, do you see for the future, maybe 10, 20 years, like, is Slim Reaper gonna be rapper, musician, like, doing, I don't want to just say vocals, because you have a wide range of different types of, like, songs that you've made, whether it's singing or rapping or yelling, screaming, whatever. Do you see that as, like, what, if you could, infinite money, that's all you would want to do, or do you want to book shows, or you said act, and, like, what would you see as the future for?
So yeah, like, if I were to, like, be able to get at the level where, like, anything's possible, acting would be something, I think, honestly, maybe a little more screenwriting. Okay. It was really weird how I made it, but so I have like a 3-part like novel that I would love to turn into a movie one day. That the base idea would be a movie, but I'm just starting it as a novel right now. Yeah. And yeah, like it was literally, my mom bought me some like Nerf, it was like a Nerf sword and a Nerf battle axe. Yeah. I've loved horror ever since a kid, and so like I remember I went in my basement at my old house, which was nothing like that. It was unfinished, mold all over the walls, paint peeling. It looked horrifying. And I went down there with my foam weapons and pretended I was in a horror movie. And like one day, like fucking maybe 15 years later, I was driving to PA to work, as I used to work there, and had an 1.5-hour commute to work.
Oh my gosh.
And I was sitting there while my dad was driving, and I was just like, I just remembered for some reason that like when I was pretending this with these Nerf weapons, and I was like, dude, that story could have been something. So I was like, let me write this. Yeah. And I got like probably like 40 to 50 pages written, and I could probably get it to 100 with just those ones if I were to go into each page and be like descriptive details where like he walked into like the cold dark room and like room or something. Yeah, if I were to like expand on everything, I could probably double the length it's at right now, and then I already have like part 1, part 2, and part 3 completely done, because like part 1's more of like, it's like a horror villain that's like kind of more like human, and then he dies. Part 2 is going to be, he's more like Michael Myers, where he's like slow and like powerful, and then part 3 I was going to be like the human got resurrected but the powerful one never died, so now they're like both going after like the main character, and then they clash, like a Freddy versus Jason thing. Okay. So yeah, it was kind of like I have it all envisioned, so like if I could make that into a movie one day, that would be dreams. And then like being able to act in them would be really cool too. And then like I would really love to book shows, just because it's so much fun, like booking, like especially like if I were to make music with all my friends, I wouldn't even need a set. If I were to just book all my friends and be like, yeah, like throw a song with me on there. Yeah. And then perform with them, because dude, like it's really fun when you're in the crowd watching one of your best friends perform, and then they call you up, you get to perform with them, and it feels great. You're up there with them, you get to share that moment. Yeah. And then you get to drop back down and then look back up at your best friend again and be like, dude, you're killing this right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's a lot of fun. So it would be fun to like try and maybe set up some like festivals or something, maybe not go too crazy and like hit the Astro World level. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But a killer show, but not literally. Yeah.
But fucking yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And then the one thing I always thought would be funny if I could start up Slimmin' the Reapers. Oh, that's sweet. we memed that one day. My dude was like, yeah, man, if you ever start a band, that's got to be your name. And I was like, if I can pull this, I was like, I'm gonna fucking do it, bro. Yeah. Like if I could get some people, like we all just dress up like Reapers and like go on stage and just like, it wouldn't have to be like super serious music. Yeah. But then like also too, a full band would be really cool though. Like that would be a dream if I could get that. If like just kind of, I'm not a fan of his music at all, but like kind of like what Ghostmane did. Like he kind of like, he doesn't have band members, but like when he performs live, he's usually with bands, and those bands will like perform with him while he's on his set, and like they'll do the instrumentals. Because I've had a live drummer at a couple shows that, dude, that energy's unmatched.
Right.
Like, that energy's unmatched. The number one best time of my life was I performed Monster Mash with a live drummer, because I have a cover of Monster Mash.
That's so cool.
And I performed that with the live drummer, and dude, that was insane. Like, because that was a song where it's like everyone knows this. So, like, if I were to be at the, like, anywhere possible level, if I could be at a point where, like, people know my songs and I have a drummer, like, it just makes people vibe out more, and, like, especially with the full band.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just, dude, it's really cool. Like, just seeing people, like, enjoy it, and, like, that'd be crazy.
That's awesome. I have a weird question for you. So the acting, kind of like making music, would Slim Reaper be the actor, or would Slim Reaper make music and you are separate from Slim Reaper and you would act? Or, like, does that make sense?
I would kind of do it like the Marilyn Manson route. The way I looked at it is, like I said, so I kind of, like, had been hiding myself for so long that now that I am Slim Reaper, like, that's who I am. Like, my real name is Cole.
Yeah.
Cole is dead. Like, that was a dude who was too scared to be anything and was just too afraid from his own fucking shadow, more or less.
Right.
And, like, he didn't have any guts to do anything. And he's done. Slim Reaper is here now. Like, yeah, like, that is who I am now. That's who, like, that's just everything that I want to be, like I said, because the whole point of it was to be like, bro, like, if, like, that's one thing I don't understand why people would do anything with music. If you're doing anything that you don't want to do, I don't get it, because the point of this was to be like, hey, like, no one, like, for some, like, no, who is Slim Reaper? Like, no one knows what that is. So, like, I'm literally creating every embodiment of it. So why not do it everything I want? Like, just, like, because the one thing, like, when I was in the metal scene, too many dudes who make music and scream on the mic are, like, they try and act like they're too hard. Like, nah, dude, I'm trying to go run around. If I fuck with you and you're, like, around me and then you're getting ready to leave, I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to tell you how much I fucking love you. Or, like, people who hit me up and are like, bro, that song was awesome. Like, bro, I put so much emotion into that song. And you like that? I fucking love you. Like, I'm not going to be one of those dudes who's, like, too cool. I'm like, dude. Like, I like to yell, but I'm also like, bro, like, I like to be nice. Like, the one thing I like to do is make everyone in the room happy. I don't like making things awkward and making people uncomfortable. So I'm going to do, like, that's the one thing, too. I'm like, I want to be me. I want people to be happy, and I want people to, like, feel comfortable around me. So that's the environment I always try and bring, and that's what I want Slim Reaper to be. I want people to know, like, you could do whatever around me. Like, one thing I've done a lot, I had a mixtape called Reaper's World, and the first half of the mixtape, I'm really bad at releasing songs. So the first half was all just songs I didn't release that were made with a lot of my friends that were awesome features. And then once I was starting to make it, the second half turned into, I was like, all right, I'm going to just show people making music is the easiest thing I've ever done. Like, actually getting behind a mic and doing it is literally just so incredibly dumb and easy. Any single person can do it. So the second half of that tape is all featured artists that you've never heard of and will never hear of again. I was literally just like, hey, you're doing a song with me, and they're like, what? I'd find a beat that they could be like, this is okay, and I'd be like, all right. I'd like, some of them I had to write their first line. I'd like kind of think of something, but like, go off of this. And then they would, and like, that tape, like, has so many features from people who haven't made music, never really necessarily wanted to, but now they've done it. And, like, that's the thing. I was like, I just want to show people that, like, you can do it. And, like, a lot of them were like, dude, this was so much fun. Like, if I were to hit them up and, like, you want to do another song, they'd be like, hell yeah, like, let's do it. So I'm like, dude, like, I just want people to be comfortable and be like, yeah, like, I could try anything I want to try. Like, it's like, anything's open. Like, if I can get in the booth and make a song and have one person say that this is somewhat okay, like, that makes me be like, bro, like, any single person has that possibility. Like, I just want people to be like, I just want people to believe in themselves.
That's so good to hear that you, like, you have your passion and you're not, like, keeping it to yourself, that you're like, I want to empower everybody. Even if they never make it again, you've given them, at least in their mind, they know they can do it. And if they choose to do whatever, maybe they do something else that they always wanted to do, but they never felt that they could do it, and you gave them. It's really cool to hear.
Because, for me, it was just having one person kind of push me. I freestyled in the car with my buddy, one of my best friends to this day. His musician name is Reverend Jimbo. He's one of the dudes on there. We kind of started a music group together, and he's a graphic designer now, and so he's actually in ALC as a graphic designer. And he doesn't really do vocals like that, but we've made quite a few songs, and, like, he'll randomly come over and we'll just make music, and, like, but one day he was just in the car, I freestyled in front of him, and he was like, dude, I have a mic. Can I record you? And I was like, what? And he's like, dude, I want to make music with you.
Right.
And that was what I needed. And he was just like, bro, like, let's go do this. And like Jimmy he was right there. Like the first time I went in the booth, he was manning the computer, like acting like a whole engineer. Like he looked so professional to me. I don't know if he knew everything he was doing, but it sounded and looked like it. And like he did me good. And like he made me feel so fucking powerful just by telling me like, you should do it. And like, that was the thing. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell everyone that you should fucking do it. Like if someone says I want to do it, no, you don't want to do it. You're going to like, manifest that. Like you are going to do it.
That's so cool. Now, just to circle back for a second, because you said like Cole is dead. So I'm curious. It sounded like in the beginning, you know, you were Cole and you would dress up as Slim Reaper. You're like, when everyone's gone, like now I can be Slim Reaper. Yep. Do you ever go the other way where you're like, okay, I gotta be Cole for a second, or is like he is completely gone?
So yeah, like I'm really my stepdad who passed away. He raised me, and he was very strong Catholic.
Okay.
And a very just generic, rich, white, powerful man.
Okay.
And he was one of those dudes that like he made me feel like shit all of the time, but he also did so much good for me because he was like I'd walk into a room, and if I was acting a fool, he would just be like, shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
And he'd be like if he'd introduce me to someone, he's like, you're gonna walk up to them, you're gonna shake their hand. And so like I still have all that in me. Like I can walk up to a group of super old people wearing this outfit, and I can gain their respect. Like I can walk up, I'll give the man a very firm handshake, and I'll talk to him about things he would never guess I would know. Yeah. And I can sit there and be like, yes, sir. Like, what's up? Like, how are you doing today, sir? And like, I can like, I'll hold the door open for you. Like, I still have like aspects where I'm like, but that's also like part of like somewhere I'm like, part of it is, I still want to be a respectable guy. Like I'm a rock star, and like I want to be a rock star, and I love Jackass. So like I want to be like doing crazy things. I want to fuck with people, but like I also like there's a time and place. Like if you're in a certain place where you have to be respectful, and like if it's like a dinner type situation where it's like, all right, let's act proper, let's hang out, like and be formal. Okay, like I'm gonna do that. So yeah. But yeah, I think the main thing about Cole was just the fact that he was just afraid of everything, and like Slim Reaper was trying to come out, so that was where like any form of like charisma that Cole had, it was Slim Reaper trying to break through. And that's like kind of like how like once I got out of it, I was just finally like, all right, that shell's broken. Like it was like Mr. Krabs when he molted out of his shell. Right. I was like, this is my new one. Like here I am, baby.
Yeah. And just in the same vein of I just thought of a question. Did you feel like, because you said every bit of charisma that kind of popped through was Slim Reaper kind of coming through, do you feel like you were Slim Reaper even from like, not birth maybe, but from birth, like as a kid, like it was in there?
No, I definitely do, because like I said, and back to the Brennan, I said that as a joke, the Brendan Fraser phase, and this is the third time I brought it up. Back in that phase, that was like when I wanted to do a little more acting. I used to just like sit there and like pretend I was always in movies. Like I remember like I'd get a haircut, and it was like, all right, like I pretended like I was like a big famous figure that was like, oh, he just got a haircut for his new movie.
Oh, for his new role.
And then like, I'd go outside in my backyard, and like if I used to buzz my hair a lot, so I'd buzz my hair, and then I'd like put on like my army outfit and be like, all right, now I'm in an army movie. And like just shit like that. And like I was like, Brendan Fraser's got a new role. And so like we fucking out here. Yeah. But no, I definitely feel like I kind of like knew that I was gonna try and do something like more than just hanging out every day, like working. Like I kind of feel like I always knew like it wasn't just this, because even when the band, like even though nothing happened from it, the second that happened, my name in the band was Damien Malum, because I thought Damien was like the evil like omen name, and then Malum was evil in Latin. I think it was evil, so I was like, all right, this is cool. So I came up with Damien Malum. And like the second that happened, dude, my Cole Twitter or my Cole Instagram had like 150 followers. Bro, I didn't even realize it until after I made Slim Reaper. Damien Malum was at like 1.5 thousand.
What?
And like I never even dropped a song. I never even hinted that I was dropping a song.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'm Damian Malum and I make music. Didn't make music.
Yeah.
And I like that got me a following. And like once I did that, like I used to just do like hella makeup all the time. Like I never got real makeup. I just use lipstick. But like I do like the Joker smile with lipstick and then like do eyeliner and like shit like that. I just post pictures and like the second Damian Malum was created, I was kind of like, yeah, this is me now.
Right.
And like I did it, but then the band never happened, so I stopped. And then I graduated high school, started working, and then like I left that job, went to the job I was saying how I had my boss who was like, you can do, like if you need to take time off for music, do it.
Yeah.
So once I had freedom and then I had Jimmy, I was just like, okay, like it's here again. Like that inspiration from what Damian Malum was, I was like, here it is again. Like it's back. Like I was like, I've been waiting for this because I was just, I always knew it was going to be something.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So shifting gears for a little bit, because I just want to make sure I don't forget to talk about this, because in listening to the other interview, you guys talking about being like a car salesman or something like that. So I'm actually in sales too, so I'm curious, do you have any good sales techniques or any tips and tricks for being a successful salesman?
So the one thing is listening to everyone. Now this is going to take like more than a few people, but you listen to everyone and pay attention to me. I don't like football.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I cannot watch football at all because when I watch football, I just want to go play it or like play a football video game. I'm like, I don't want to just watch this. Like I could play a game, be in control, or I could do it for real and like be in control.
Or do something else. Like
yeah. So like I'm just not a big sports guy, but especially from the dealership, that's where it started is everyone would talk about sports. So just listening to that, that is a very base thing that you hear a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
So now that anytime I hear it, I tune in.
Okay.
And then my girlfriend, when I met her dad, I had not watched a single football game that year.
Yeah.
I met him, walked into his house, the game was on. I started talking about plays that happened from the Browns. I was like, man, that game last season with the Chiefs. I was like, how did we lose that game with the Chiefs? I was like, we won that game, but those refs fucked us. I didn't watch that.
Right.
I don't know what, but I saw people talk, and so it's just learning things that you know, like that you can just kind of be like, everyone can pick up on this, or like common like movies, just be like, yeah, like when Star Wars was coming out, that was when I was at the dealership. It just kind of, I never have seen Star Wars, but I would just sit there and be like, what do you guys think about the all-black stormtroopers?
Right.
And then if they like it, they're immediately like, okay, and like they just want to talk. It's just getting people to like realize that you're just a fucking human.
Right.
And just be like, hey man, like don't think that I want to be your friend, but kind of gear towards
like
that.
Me or something, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like if you think you want them to be your friend, you're kind of act like a fool.
Yeah.
But like if you just go in there and maybe kind of think that like you want to like be like, I want to invite this dude to meet my wife.
Okay.
Think of what you need to do to get to that, because being a friend relationship, you could have fake friends and like you can have people that you're just trying to like use for something. But if you're bringing a dude to meet your fucking wife, it's a little bit different. So just try and think of how you can get everyone to just bring out their human stuff, or like just be like, you meet a dude that like came from a construction job, just be like, if you've ever done anything. One time when we moved here, there was a day where I saw a wheelbarrow full of gravel. I thought I could move it because like gravel, I didn't think it was heavy.
Right.
I couldn't move that wheelbarrow. I grabbed it, tried to pull it, looked around, was like, I'm gonna walk away. And so anytime I meet a construction worker, I'm just like, man, you know how fucking heavy gravel is? They're just like,
I know, right?
yeah, like yeah. And then like just like if someone, and then also the one thing I would do at the dealership was, someone's talking about something that they like, you just try and get them to like acknowledge that they like it. Like just like if they're talking about a movie and they're like, if they're like, yeah, this movie's so good, like, and they're describing a scene, just like, yeah, isn't it so good? Yeah. You just say that and they're like, yeah, it is so good. Right. And like I used to do that like in high school. I sold fucking weed back in the day. Dude, the number one best thing I'd do with that is I'd be like, you want to take a free hit? They'd be like, yeah. Give it to them after hitting it, before they take that hit, before they've even touched it. The second they start, just be like, isn't that shit fucking good? Yeah. And they're just like, they haven't even inhaled it. They're like, oh yeah, this is so good. Just be like, just kind of like, just make them, if they're acting like they like something, just tell them that they like it. Just, if like for car salesmen, if they're looking at a car and they're like, you know, these seats are pretty nice. Aren't these seats nice? yeah. Like, it works usually. Like,
you to meet my wife.
like it's just people are just kind of like, okay, like he's kind of like going with me, like he agrees. Like, okay, like yeah, just little shit like that.
That's really good. I'm gonna steal that gravel thing too if I ever talk to some construction workers.
Dude,
because
I never knew how I just saw them like they're pouring it into wheelbarrows and like I was outside helping them a little bit. And then I see homie just, big dude, just goes and grabs it, walks away. And then I'm just like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this.
Dude, I literally, both hands, I'm trying to like a little kid. Just like, ah, and it's not budging. I just was like, I gotta get away before anyone saw that. I was like, fuck. Like, damn. But
Man.
yeah.
So what, do you have a sales pitch you would do as a car salesman? I'm just curious. If you don't, totally fine. I'm just...
So, no, I wouldn't really have like a straight pitch. I would just kind of go and be like, if they'd start looking at something, find what they like about it, and then just be like, never try and upsell. That's the one thing, I know you want to, just don't try and upsell because a lot of people can pick up on that.
Right.
So, or if you're going to upsell, you got hit him with a down sale first. Be like, well, you could save some money with this. Mm-hmm. And this is actually going to be a pretty beneficial. You don't really need it. But then with this one, with this product, it's one of those things where it's just like, I have the money. I'm just going to do it so I don't got to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay. He's not trying to sell it to me. They're like, he's kind of being a little more like, okay. Like
I could get cheap option.
Yeah, they're like, I could go with this and just not have the hassle. But then and then also, if a guy's buying a car, generally have money, not always though, but generally they will hopefully have money, and that you play that with them. You'd be like, well, you could get the cheap one, but if you got the money, like you may as well just do this if you're not afraid. Like you kind of do some shit like that. Just like, I mean, like anyone who's getting it would just go with this because why not? But you can get this, but like, go ahead.
You want to do your own thing for sure. Yeah.
You want to be the oddball? Go ahead.
That's awesome. So I mean, you mentioned cars, weed. Anything else that you're like? Are you like a salesman, or you did that because just for a job?
So my grandpa owns a bunch of dealerships. That was how I got into it.
Okay.
And my dad worked at the PA one, and so I graduated high school, had no jobs lined up, and I was just like, I need something. So I was like, I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So I did it, and absolutely, I fucking hated it so much. Mainly, I think I could have enjoyed it, but it was because my family owned it. Mm-hmm. Every worker that wasn't a manager thought that since I was family, I was getting special privileges. And every manager was like, because my dad, he's usually on like a lower end of the totem pole. Mm-hmm. So like, he gets treated like shit. He's not a high up manager. Like there's plenty of managers higher than him, and so like those people are like, hey, we can fuck with the owners, like the grandson. So they'd fuck with me, and like I found out after working there for 2 years, I was getting started minimum wage $7.25. Starting pay for my job was $10 an hour. After 2 years, no one else had been there for more than 6 months. I had a 2-year marker. I was like at $9. I was like, can I get to 10 like everyone else? I'm training all these guys, and they're like, no. So I was just like,
gosh.
Damn.
That's even beyond just like fucking with the grants. That's like fucking with your money. That's
yeah. So I was like, dude, I was like, I'm out then. I left there trying to hire me back at 13. I was like, I was like, I'm gone. I was like, that's an hour and a half drive. My new job, I was like, I'm getting paid 11 off a rip. And I was like, I have a 20-minute drive to work. I can do whatever I want. My boss is amazing. Like, this is sick. Yeah. So yeah, I was out of there. But no, like just growing up like with being around a car salesman family, like I definitely think like that's why I have good people skills, and like why, like I said, I can kind of try and find things to like generally like find something to get that common ground, because that's really all it is. It's just finding a common ground with someone, and then you guys can talk and then go from there, and like usually it's kind of good. Yeah. So like I feel like I could probably sell most things. Like I remember, dude, I saw Wolf of Wall Street. Man, I wanted to be a stockbroker so bad. Right. I wanted to. Like, I was like Googling it and everything. I was like, man, like Google how to be a stockbroker. I was like, I damn near pre-ordered fucking how to be a stockbroker for dummies. I almost did it, man. Yeah. But no, like I think I could do it, but my only thing is it's so much work. As in like, I've seen car salesmen be like sitting there on their day off that they were trying to sell a car on Tuesday, and now it's Friday, they're off, and their customer hits them back finally, and they're like, I guess I'm not going to my concert tonight, and I'm walking into work real quick on my day off to sell a car. Yeah, so I can pay for the concert that I can't go to. Like, yeah, like so like they do stuff like that all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, man, I personally, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I enjoy my freedom so much. Like I said when we met earlier, I'm not working right now. It has felt so good because ever since I graduated high school, I've not been without a job. And it's been amazing. Like I finally am like, I'm going to get a job again here soon because like, I mean, making music isn't cheap.
Right.
But like, it's just been like, damn, bro, like I can really just like wake up and go make music. Because before what I was doing is like, it'd be like Wednesday and I'm like, I want to make music right now. And then I'd be like, dude, I just got off work. I'm tired. I'm going to go play some Warzone. I'll make music on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday comes and I'm like, damn, bro, I've been working all week. I don't really want to do anything. I'm going to play Warzone.
Yep.
Now, like, since I'm off and I know I don't have plans for stuff, I'll just be sitting there and I'm, like, in the middle of a Warzone game. I'm like, damn, I kind of could make music right now. And then I'm like, I'll do it later. And then I'm like, nope, I don't have plans later.
Right.
I don't have plans anytime. I don't have plans now. Go up and do it. And then that's what I've been doing. I think, which actually I'll show it to you before you leave. I think I made like probably my best song in a situation like that. It's called Rock, or I performed it is that Rockstar song I performed at the Blossom Show.
Okay.
Literally, I was just sitting there watching a movie with my girl, and then I was just like, damn, I kind of want to make a song right now. And then I was just like, babe, I'm gonna go downstairs real quick, and I just came down, found the beat, knocked it out, and like it was just one of those like it happened.
Sit back down. What I missed. Like.
Yeah, and so like. With having that freedom and like not having that stress of just being like, yeah, I gotta work tomorrow, like I may as well enjoy my free time now, because like with music, like as much as I love it, it also sometimes it's like a chore because I'm at the point now where I'm not gonna half-ass a song. Yeah. So like I'll do like I usually do 3 takes. So if I like do 2 takes, like I'll do 1 and 2, they sound great, and then I do the third one and that one sounds like way better. Then I'm like, well, gotta redo the first 2. Right. And then I'll redo those, and then sometimes those sound even better. So then I'm like, well, gotta redo the third. And like then it just starts going, and I'm like, now I'm trying to redo stuff. And then like sometimes I'll finish it, and I'm like, I should have just added this one word right here. And then I'm like, I gotta redo the whole song. Yeah. So like sometimes it turns into a chore. So like that's what would turn me off. Like when I worked, I was like, I have free time right now to do whatever and not feel like I'm doing chores. So I'd be like, let me just wait till another day to do it. Whereas now I'm like, I can do a chore whenever because I'm not working. I'm not stressed. Right. So I'm just like, let's just fucking do it. Yeah. So like, dude, it's just been so fucking gratifying now to just be able to just be like, yeah, and like knock out whatever I want whenever I want. Because my sleep schedule, like we were saying, like I don't know, I'm proactive at night, bro. Me too. During the day, I get tired. Like I want to take naps all throughout the day. Yep. Like when it's sunny, but for some reason, dude, it hits 2-3 a.m. and I'm ready to go. Yep. I'm like, I could do everything right now. Like, exactly. I don't know why. I hate it, but... Have you always been like that? I've always been a late person. Like, as a kid, I was always getting in trouble from my friends' parents because I was teaching them to stay up late and shit. So, like, Dude, my friends' parents hated me because, like I said, my sisters were older than me, bro. They were, like, like, they were in, like, high school, so they're like, let's teach our, like, second grade brother what fuck is. Yeah. And so, like, I'm walking around saying fuck. Yeah. And then, like, all these friends' parents, bro, like, I remember watching the Lil Peep documentary. I've never felt something hit harder than home and feel like, damn, like I didn't realize how much that fucked with me till I saw his mom be like, yeah, like all of Peep's parents would tell them he can't hang out with them. And I was like, dude, every single friend I had, they were usually like, you can't hang out with my kid. Yeah. Because like I was always just like, I'm going to take my shirt off and then like running around. Like I said, I had no really adult supervision like that for a minute. So like I was just running, like we'd be hanging outside playing football with the kids. I'd be like, damn, I got to take a piss. And I'd walk over to the corner of the house, like no one could see me. Right. But I'm like, I'm going to just take a piss real quick. And like the parents like, dude, you can't just do that. Right. And I'm like, why the fuck not? And then they're like, go. Yeah. They're like, go. Like I remember my sisters one time they brought me up into their room and they're like, hey, mom's at work right now. Call her and see if she can order us Taco Bell. And so I'm like, okay. So I called her and my mom's like, no, like we don't have money for Taco Bell. Cause like for a minute we really just didn't have money. And like looking back, I feel bad cause she probably felt like shit. But then my sisters were like, call her a douchebag. And then I'm just like, you douchebag, and then hung up on her. And I'm like, my mom's working like 3 jobs trying to keep food on the table, trying to take care of us. And then I'm like calling her a douchebag because she can't buy me Taco Bell. I'm like, damn, bro. But yeah, so like they were teaching me shit like that. So like I was just not a likable kid from most parents' aspects. Yeah. And then all my teachers were always like, this dude's, because like I had horrible ADHD. They're all just like, he's not going to amount to nothing. Like he won't even do his schoolwork. Yeah. So it's pretty cool now that I'm like, hey, my dream was to get on a stage and like do this. And like, I might not be at like fucking Kanye West level, but like at this point, I've achieved my dreams. Like there was a point, I performed a song, my buddy came in too early, and there was like a long intro.
Yeah.
He stopped, and then the entire crowd picked up and sang the entire song until we came on, and then that's when the song started.
That's
but like,
so cool.
I was just up there like, that happened.
Yeah.
And then like, I've been on stage, I've gotten to see a mosh pit happen for me before, so I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like I've done it. Like I've achieved everything I've wanted to. So
Right.
at this point, like I'm hungry for more. But like, if it were to ever like, if something fatal were to happen, like I fucking did it, man. Like that's the one thing I'm proud of. I did it.
That's really
Like-
cool. And that's a good place to be, because I like that you have one foot into being like, I remember what it was like to not have this and to have to start this and to be, you know, humble and whatever, but you also have like the success and like, I've hit this goal, and like you're able to move forward, like not forgetting who you were, but like also knowing like what you can do.
kind of like knowing like what I want though. Like now,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
kind of like, you know what, I'm not gonna accept the bare minimum anymore.
Right.
Which, I mean, I honestly, I still kind of do, dude, with like shows and stuff, dude. There's so many shows I've taken that I'm like, I shouldn't have taken that. Like, it was a Thursday, a week before the show happened, and I said, fuck it, got on, didn't have time to tell anyone, and then I got there and saw my girlfriend in the crowd, and I was like, but like, I mean, sometimes that makes me go harder. Like, I mean, the one thing I'll tell people, for anyone who's never performed yet, it is easier if you ever get scared. It's a lot easier for a big show.
Okay, yeah.
A lot easier. Small shows fucking suck.
Because you can see all those four people
Yes,
not into the music versus...
It could have been a cool, like, it's still cool to say. I had a cool thing. I got to open up for Lil White. Like I said, he was like the first like rapper that I was like, I'm learning about your life. Like I was like, because he raps about his kids. I was like, I want to know about your kids. Like, I want to know you. And I opened up for him, and they put me on like 4 hours before he went on. So he wasn't even at the venue. Like, no one was there.
Yeah.
I performed for my mom, my girlfriend, and one of the dudes who was performing with me.
Yeah.
And that was just like really rough. But then, yeah, like because it's with the crowd, like if one person enjoys it, the whole crowd will. Because if you can get one person going like this, generally everyone else will kind of see it, and then they're not afraid to do it. So then they're doing it. And then like if one person pushes someone, then everyone else is like, raw, and they just kind of start moshing. And like it just kind of flows better with more people.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that you played for like your girlfriend, your mom, and like nobody, and one other person that you're performing with. Because I've had a lot of, because I played in bands like all through growing up, and we've had a lot where we've just played for the other bands. But the difference between rap shows and bands is like, even if we're only played for the other two bands, there's still 12 people in the show because we got all instruments.
Yeah.
We got only 3, 4, or 5 people, you know, because they don't have all the.
So like, yeah, that's the one thing I'm trying to move away from. Like a lot of, like I've gotten on a bunch of like random showcases. And it'll just be me and 12 artists that I don't know, they don't know me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to stay away from those, because when you get to those, it's generally more only who you bring out cares. So like you bring out some people, they stay for you, they leave after your set, so on and so forth for every other artist. They don't really care for you. Versus like the Blossom show, even though not a lot of the people there knew me, I didn't have a huge turnout. Everyone was like, all right, you're a friend of my friend. Like it's a little bit different, where it's like, it's a little more like down to earth and like enclosed. And so like, yeah, like it felt different. Like I don't know, that show was just that show alone was like life changing. Yeah. It was so beautiful. Yeah. I love that show. That show was amazing.
Awesome. And shouts out to Blossom. Always fantastic energy, and I know that everybody in that crowd was like had Blossom energy, and they were
they did.
happy.
Like I just went, dude, seeing him on stage and seeing them turn up for him was like one of my happiest things. Like dude, he just looked so happy. And then if you just looked at it, that's why I love Blossom, is he's one of those people that makes people happy. And like in the crowd, you can really feel that. Like everyone in there is smiling, and like
probably don't even realize they're smiling.
Yeah, and like they're all just like yelling the lyrics, and like he's one beautiful soul. I love that man. Shout out you, Blossom Reynolds,
man. So shifting gears for a second. So pretend you don't get to act, make music, screenplays, anything. What would you be doing? Like, what would job be?
That's one thing I don't really 100% can say I know, because my dad asks me it a lot, because my dad, every time I see him, is always like, okay, son, like, you've been doing music a few years now, like, I support it. Like,
time to stop, but
he's like a great supporter. He loves when I do it, but he's also like, you gotta like go to a trade school and get your life together. And I'm just like, dude, I don't care. I'll wait till the absolute last minute. Right. Until I gotta do that. So like, I really don't know. I think I could probably try and do something in sales, just because I am good at talking with people. But in high school, one thing I actually really wanted to do was culinary.
Okay.
I thought culinary stuff could be really interesting because I like making food for myself, and
Yeah.
I also I really enjoy when I can make something and let other people, when people eat something
Right.
I make, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I'd enjoy that a lot if I were to actually get into it.
Yeah. Do you cook you said you like to make yourself stuff, but do you cook or you just kind of whip yourself up some food or?
I did for a minute, not really anymore. I kind of got too lazy. I don't
Yeah.
really like doing too much.
Cooking is a chore, and then you
this
clean up
year-
afterwards.
This year I did get into my grill. I've never
Oh, that's
ever in my
awesome.
life cooked on a grill until this year, and I actually went insane for a minute.
Yeah.
I was fucking every 2 days I was
Take go on the grill. I don't want to eat it.
yeah, dude, every day I pretty much was I have two roommates, Greg and Johnny. Pretty much every day I was like, y'all want a steak? And they're just like, what? And I was like, I got steaks marinating. Y'all want a steak?
It's 8 a.m. When you're on the grill already.
Dude, no, I did that the other night.
believe it,
I
dude.
2 a.m. I walked out and I cooked up some kebabs. I marinated them in some teriyaki seasoning at midnight.
Yeah.
And then at 2 a.m. I went out, cooked them. My dude Johnny didn't even know he was watching
didn't
TV.
even know.
Dude, I walked back in and I'm eating them, and he's like, "Did you just cook those on the stove?" And I was like, "Nah, I went out to the grill." And he's like, "Bro, it's 2 a.m." And I was like, "Yep."
And you didn't even know.
And it's like, we out here. I like cooking on the fire a lot too. I remember one point, there was a night I never really fucked with bratwurst till I had them on the fire, and then I was like, dude, these are amazing.
It's totally different. You got that char and everything like
It's
that.
really
so many
good.
people boil them, and I'm like, this is gross.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
And so I got me when I get into something, I go head over. Like I said, I'll dive into it.
Right.
So for a minute, I went to Walmart, got a grate, and I was just cooking on the fire every day.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one night back when I was drinking every day, I got shit-faced, went out, and I cooked some brats on the fire, came in, that was at 10, 11 o'clock, was kicking it, and it hit 2 a.m., and I was gone at this point. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? It's only been a few hours. I know there's still coals on that fire. Dude, I went out at 2 a.m., threw a couple pieces of cardboard and a piece of wood on there. It got hot enough, and there was some coals on there, and then I cooked up some food real quick, and then stomped it out and went back in 10 minutes later. Just real quick, I was like, fuck it, bro.
That's awesome. So what's your specialty? If you're gonna cook, you kind of said a bunch of grill stuff, but is there any if Slim Reaper's cooking, I'm whipping up a batch of?
I used to originally it was breakfast. I loved making.
breakfast.
I loved doing eggs. However, people if they like egg sandwiches. However
Yeah.
you want your eggs, I would do eggs, hash browns, and I like doing sandwiches. Cook up some bacon, some sausage,
Yeah.
and shit. And just breakfast was fun because it's pretty fucking easy.
Right.
And then now it's just a teriyaki marinated steak. There's this brand, I think it's called Lawson's or some shit, and
Okay.
they make a teriyaki marinade. You just throw it in a bag real quick,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. I kind of like cheap steak too.
Okay.
I don't like good cuts. I'm not a fan of filet.
Okay.
I don't like the big thick boys.
Yeah.
I want to try a tomahawk because it's that big.
Right.
Those look pretty cool. But now
thin steak as opposed to the real thick.
yeah, I like
Okay.
them thin because they kind of feel like they absorb the marinade a lot, and
Right.
you don't have to do it all day. I can just be I want this. Throw it in there for 5 minutes, and
Right.
it tastes like my marinade.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used to just do. They would sell these flax steaks. They were just this big, and they'd sell packs of 6 of them. And
Yeah.
I would buy those, marinate them, and cook them on the Foreman all the time. And they were
On the
heat.
Foreman, man, I got one of those in my place too.
Yup, the Foreman, bro. I used to live with that hoe because when I lived in PA with my dad, we didn't have shit, and it was just steakums, eggs, and bread. And that was all I lived on.
Yeah.
I would do
feel that.
steak 'em and egg sandwiches.
Yeah. I'm curious, how do you like your steak?
I like it. I do medium rare.
Medium rare?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not as good at cooking it rare. I don't know the exact time and stuff.
Right.
One time, surprisingly, a vegetarian girlfriend of mine, one of my
Interesting.
exes, cooked me the best rare steak. It was perfectly bloody.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did my vegetarian girlfriend do this? But it was heat. That was one of the times where I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
But usually I go for medium rare.
Okay. Were
And-
you a medium rare from the get-go, or have you grown to? I feel like people go more towards rare as they get better at steak.
I've kind of always been medium rare only because that was just growing up. That was always what I heard. Everyone would be steak medium rare.
Yeah.
So I was just always repeated that I was medium rare.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not one of those people that I don't give a shit if you want it well done, because there's times where I'm cooking food and I get busy and I forget shit and I look back and I'm like, damn it, bro, that's kind of cooked.
It's kind of cooked.
That's kind of cooked, and I'm like, dude, I'm still eating. I'll eat a well done steak. I don't give a shit if it's dry.
Right.
Get some steak sauce.
For sure. Yeah.
Fuck it.
That's cool. So cooking, and I mean, you kind of mentioned screenplay and stuff like that too. So, man, I'm gonna shift goals or shift gears again. What's I guess in your other thing you mentioned 23, lucky number. I'm curious, how did you like determine that that's your lucky number? Like, what kind of other maybe not theories, but what else do you attach to like numbers, lucky numbers, 23, stuff like that?
So I always kind of like, I never really had it as like a set number, like all growing up. 3 was always one. I don't know why. I remembered the earliest memory was I remember one night I couldn't sleep and I was kicking it with my dog, and I just started singing her a song, and this may be when I kind of started learning. I still don't necessarily know like how to write in bars, but like hearing it, I know like what consists of a bar.
Right.
And so I remember one night I was just sitting there and I just kept like singing a song, and in my head I was singing it as like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I just kept remember 3, like just every 3, like I remember that stuck out, and so 3 really stuck out, and then I was kind of like searching for a lucky number for a while. Like I wasn't like trying to like look for one.
Yeah.
15 is Marilyn Manson's number, and I always kind of liked 15 just because I loved Manson.
Right,
so like
right.
I used that and everything. And then like one day I think it was Reaper's World when I was finally like, this is it. Like I honestly don't know how it happened. I just remember Reaper's World. I was like, because my birthday is August 23rd.
Okay, I was gonna ask too. Yeah.
So my birthday is 8/23, and so like I just remember I was like, you know what? I'm doing 23 tracks on it. It's 23 is my birthday number. I was like, I'm doing 23. And then I was going to drop it in July, and then I was like, you know what? Dropping it on July 23rd. And then like after Reaper's World, that's when I was like, that's it. I was like, that's my number, 23. Like I see it anywhere. If I see it on something, like, good day. It's going to be a great fucking day. I mean, I try and think like that anyways. Like I try and do like power of positivity.
Right.
For a while I would do it if I would, anytime I think something negative, if I was alone, I would make sure and say out loud. If I woke up and I was like, damn, today's gonna suck, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
I would stop myself, and saying it out loud I think does more. I would go, stop. Today will be a good day.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
And it was a good day. Like that was the best point of my life. Like when I was doing that every day.
Right.
That was the best. Like 2019, it was a great year.
Yeah.
Had the best shows, and that shit's real.
I'm gonna ask, I guess, maybe beyond that, what maybe made that year great. But I just wanted to pause because I love every single time I interview somebody, they always bring up that like they're being positive, and maybe not to that extent that where you have a negative thought and you say it. I do that though, 100%. I'm like, oh, this is gonna, and I make sure what I'm speaking is like actually true and whatever. And my mom and I are not naturally gifted at like directions. I can get lost real easy. And I used to always say like, I'm bad at directions. And I was like, no, I'm getting better at directions, or like I'm still learning, making sure I'm not, speaking that. And I interact with so many other people in daily life, and I don't know if you run into this too, and they're all being negative. They don't correct themselves. They're just saying this is gonna suck, or like, I'm not gonna get this sale, and I'm like, shut up, you are gonna get, like, it's gonna, why do you speak bad and make it verbal that you're gonna have a bad day or something bad? And it's always refreshing for me to be around people like yourself who are like, no, positive thinking, and it's gonna happen, everything's gonna be great, and manifesting what I want versus life sucks.
The best example, the one that really sold me on it was Mod's son. I saw him, Blossom opened up for him.
Yeah.
And I fucked with his performance, so I went and started digging him up. And one of his albums, he's got like a 5-part thing at the end of it where it's just him speaking. Mm-hmm. And that's where I really became full on, because I'd been listening to like the power of manifestation.
Yeah.
And how they're like envision like what you want to do every day. And that my envision was a show with a mosh pit and people singing my lyric. That was it. And that's why I'm saying it happened. Like that was awesome. And so Mod's son, though, he was like, the universe listens to everything you say, but it doesn't listen to exactly what you, not necessarily what you want. It listens to what you say. So he was like, a man gets pulled over and gets a speeding ticket, and he says, I hate speeding tickets. I don't want a speeding ticket. Speeding tickets piss me off. He then leaves. You would think the universe heard him say, I don't want a speeding ticket. No, the universe only heard speeding ticket three times.
Yeah.
So that's what will manifest into his life, is another speeding ticket. So it's like, don't manifest on what you don't want to happen.
Yeah.
Manifest on what will happen, what's going to happen for you. And then also saying, I want something, don't say I want. I know I corrected myself earlier. Don't say I want. Say, it's going to, like, I want that, no, I'm going to have this. Like,
yeah, or it's mine already and it's it's coming to me or something.
That is how, like, it's going to happen. Like, that's how you have to think. And I think that shit is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and that's actually curious because you mentioned that your stepdad was, it sounded like primarily who raised you since your parents got divorced early. How did you discover that, being that Catholic is very like, no, this is this, you sit here, you stand now, you sit this, very opposite of that, and like, how did you finally figure that stuff out?
Honestly, a lot with Marilyn Manson. Okay. That was because, like I said, Slim Reaper had been inside of me my whole life. That movie I referenced, Life is a House, the main character in it, Sam, I thought he had black and blue hair, and he wore eyeliner. And I thought, like, coming from a straight man, dude, I was like, dude, he is fucking beautiful. Like, he looks fucking good. So I was always like, I want to do that. Got into Manson, and I was like, I'm wearing makeup.
Right.
So, like, that's when that started. And then he was just kind of like more or less be a free thinker, so I kind of went with that. But honest to God, as much as I do not like organized religion, I personally am not one of those guys that's like, oh, none of it's real. I personally believe in, like, I don't think it's what the Bible says, but I think of like a power of good and evil.
Yeah.
And I am happy that the church, my stepdad was not a good example of it at all. But the priest at his church was. I could walk to Sunday Mass wearing this.
Yeah.
With eyeliner on, and the priest would let me in. He would not give a fuck.
Pornhub, baby. Yeah.
And he'd give me a hug, because, like, my stepdad and him were very close, so, like, he's, like, a family friend of ours now. And that priest is what I think every priest should be. He's, like, an old-school Slovakian dude.
Yeah.
And he was born in Slovakia, but he's honest to God, like, he loves everyone, and he he walked into my room and saw all my Manson posters.
Yeah.
Never thought nothing of me. Like, he still thought I was an amazing person because I was like, I always was positive around him. I would do good things around him, and he was like, all right, I can tell you're not a bad kid. Like, I don't care what the fuck you like. Like, I can tell who you are. And so, like, he kind of, like, made me be like, okay, like, I can, because he accepted me, because he knew I did not like religion, and he accepted that. And so I was like, all right, he can accept it. I was like, so I can do what I want. And really, like, if he can accept it, I was like, fuck my stepdad. Like, I was like, that's kind of like a little more like, damn, like, a priest is cool with me right now. Like, a priest is okay with my Marilyn Manson phase. That's saying a lot. Right. And so that kind of got me to be like, all right, like, I can kind of do my own thing, and like, kind of like look out for myself, and like kind of think how I want to think, because he was like, he had a lot of racist thoughts. Because like I said, he was a very old school ass guy. And I just did not fuck with any of that with him. And so that kind of made me be like, okay, I can't think like you. Yeah. And like, seeing I have quite a lot of racist fucking family members. Yeah. And I'm like, they don't even know they're racist. But like the things they fucking say, I'm like, I will not think like that. Like, I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. So like, I definitely have always like, I learn from people's mistakes. I watch how people act, and I'm like, all right, don't do that. And like, if I see you acting like a fucking asshole, I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna do it. And like, I'm not gonna respect you if you are too. Like, I'm just, like, fuck out of here. Right.
Yeah, so at some point you just, like, stumbled upon, like, some sort of manifestation book or some, like, The Secret or something like that. You're just like, oh, okay, I can use, separate, I want to be like that priest, but I can use my mind for whatever.
It was, like, just people in high school, like, because I hung out with a lot of fucking stoners. They were all, like, edgy, and, like, I remember, like, one of them was like, like, if you, like, write down on a calendar, like, what you want to do, like, this, like, it can go a long way. And like, I thought it sounded so dumb, but I was also just like, what bad could come from it?
Right, exactly.
I was like, there's nothing bad that could come from me looking at what I want to do every day and like seeing it. Right. So I was like, you know what? Like, they said they found it on a YouTube video, and I just found a YouTube video, and it was them talking like what to do. They were like, all right, I want you to take 30 seconds and just take some deep breaths. And then they did, and they're like, now imagine like what your dream thing is. They're like smells, like they're like, get everything. They're like the feeling of it, the heat, the coldness. They're like, get every single possible thing and put it in your head. Yeah. And then literally, I think it was like a week or two after I started that is when I ran into Modson at the Blossom show. Yeah. And was like, okay, like, I can really go far. Right. Like, I can really do this. Because it was just coincidental that when I was getting big into it, Modson, that's his biggest thing. And so I was like, how weird is it that happened? Yeah. Like, I was just like, that's the power of it. Like, right.
Yeah, and it's so cool to hear even that people in high school that would be like the bad kids or the stoner kids or whatever, and they're the ones that actually have the keys to the universe and whatever, and they're like helping you in that age.
And that's the one thing I've always learned, like, just because me, like I said, from off rip, all the parents hated me and I was an outcasted kid.
Yeah.
Immediately I was like, all right, outcast people probably don't have anything wrong with them. So like how I said, I had a group of friends in high school and then 2 friends I hung out with out of high school.
Uh-huh.
Those 2 friends had no friends. It was just us 3.
Okay.
And it was just us 3 together. And, like, we met in elementary school, and that was kind of why we met, because we were all just like, we're fucking losers and don't have anyone.
Yeah.
Let's just have each other.
Losers by, like, school standards and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, not really.
Yeah, and so then, we just became best friends, and, like, dude, we were living our best life, man. Like, we were just hanging out all the time, playing, like, with our cars outside.
Yeah.
Like, playing, like, Truth or Dare. Just dumb shit, like, TP and shit. Like, and there's the 3 of us, like, we made it, bro. We were like, like, we don't need all these standards, like, going to parties, like, we can just hang out and, like, literally enjoy everything. Like, I remember, like, all homecomings and stuff until I was, like, senior year I did that stuff. But, like, I remember, like, as freshmen, we were all like, we're not going to the football game or homecoming tonight. Let's go have a bonfire at my house.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just wholesome and amazing. Like, and so, like, that kind of made me be like, dude, I don't care what people say about you. Like, no, okay. There's certain things, but, like, if people are just like, this guy's, like, he's a fucking loser. Like, I'm probably going to be like, he's probably not.
Right.
You just probably don't get it.
Yeah, like, or they see, which I always kind of notice is, like, I'm trying to make sure I'm not ever doing it to other people, of, like, you see somebody else succeeding where you wish you could succeed, or, like, doing what you wish you could do, or being the, too afraid for them to chase that dream or whatever, and they see somebody else like, fuck that guy, what a loser, like, doing that thing, but deep down they're like, I wish that was me. Instead of wanting them to succeed, they want everyone else to come down to their level. It's like, I don't know, you can win too. We can all win. Let's all win.
That's why I love Another Lost Cause, because that's like we call ourselves the Love Gang.
Uh-huh.
And dude, that's the one thing that I love about it is just everyone like Frander. When I started making music, he had thousands of followers. Like he had placements. He had produced for like Ghostmane and Chris Travis and all this shit. I was like, bro, he won't talk to me. And I messaged him, and he was talking to me and like was a great friend.
Right.
And then became an even better friend. And then one day he was just like, dude, do you want to join up in our group? And I did. And then it was just like I went out to Baltimore and met everyone, and I was alone. Like I actually never went out of state to meet someone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just did it. And dude, the way they made me feel, they were all just like, bro, like you got this. And like they were all just lifting me up. And so ever since then, that was why Reaper's World became. I was like, dude, just pull everyone up with you. Like you can do it, and it doesn't drag you down. Yeah. Like it doesn't. Like you can really like just literally just telling someone like you got this goes so fucking far. Yeah. Like just simple shit. Like it goes so far. Yeah. Like,
I feel like the karma comes back to you as well. If you are that negative person, then maybe you're gonna miss that opportunity because the universe is like, well, fuck you then. Like, but you get.
And that's the thing with the power of it all too, is that you got to remember, if someone's being a shitty person, like I catch myself with this a lot. I'm like, he doesn't fucking deserve that. He's a shitty person. Okay, his time will come. Right. Like just wait. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, and that is one thing too. I try and tell myself any negative situation, it's not negative. Right. My stepdad died. And like I said, we didn't really like get super along like that, but it was still like a really like, damn, like that was like a hard ass thing. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? While he was alive, I couldn't fully be Slim Reaper. I still had to hide it. Yeah. He never knew I made music. I had to hide my studio. He never found out. No one in my family but my mom knew. Wow. Yeah. And when he died, I was finally like, you know what? I got to take this. Like I was like, I have the opportunity now that I can record whenever. I was like, I got to take it by the balls, and I got to run with it. I let my family know finally. I was like, I got to stop hiding. Yeah. I let them know. Surprisingly, a lot of them were like, you know what? We fuck with it. Like, we don't like the type of music or the lyrics, but they're like, we fuck with it. Like, we support you. That's cool. And I didn't expect that. And so, like, I found a positive in that. And, like, just literally anything. Even if it's simply, like, if you can't find anything good from it, you made it. Yeah. You got through it. So if this happens again, just remember, you got through it, and you will do it again. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what it is. You push yourself through that. Why can't you do this? Yeah. Like, so even if that's all you can drag from it is that I made it. Right. That's a positive, and you can do it. Like that's such an awesome way to even look at it, because I don't know that I've even had that perspective of like I made it through and just being proud. Not that you had to deal with it, but just that you went through it. So that's really cool. I'm gonna filter that in my own head now too. And, I try and use that. Like, I mean, times when I'm on stage and like I said, there's no one there.
Right.
Like it gets really rough and I'm on there, but I was like, dude, I've done it before. Mm-hmm. Just do what I did before. Just push through. And I've gone through it every time. Or like any tough like breakup, it's like, dude, breakups are not fucking easy. It's really hard, but like I've gone through it. Like they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Mm-hmm. You can find somebody else, like you can get through it, and like you can make everything work.
Yeah. There you go. And I'm shifting gears again. So I noticed you're a big Call of Duty guy, kind of video gamer in general. I haven't really been on Call of Duty in like a long time, but I'm going to ask you as kind of a big Call of Duty person, are Treyarch, Activision?
Treyarch for me. Okay, so Activision is the better game.
Okay.
Treyarch, solely, I played up until Black Ops 1, and that's when I stopped COD. Mm-hmm. Never played it again all throughout high school, and everyone else was. I stopped.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare, the remake, is what got me into it, and like with Warzone, that's what got me in.
Right.
So, Black Ops, I didn't like 2, 3, or 4. Cold War is actually pretty fucking heat.
Uh-huh.
Activision's generally got a better one, but dude, I'm a Treyarch guy. Black Ops 1 for me was just like, oh my god. And the one thing they did first, we got to see our fucking face of our dude, bro.
Right?
They never did. They just wouldn't do it, bro. They just wouldn't do it. And I remember playing Black Ops 1. I got it when it came out. I was playing it before I went to school at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I just remember I saw Mason and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm seeing my Call of Duty guy. Like, that was just so mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. And then, yeah, for me, zombies, though. That's what does it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not super competitive with multiplayer. I love Warzone. Mm-hmm. Never been, like, I've never quick-scoped in my life.
Yeah.
I can't use a sniper.
Okay.
I'm not too competitive, but, like, I just love Warzone, though. And which is weird, because that's a little more competitive-ish than multiplayer, because it is, like, one and done.
Right.
But, yeah, like, I don't know. It just got me hooked.
Yeah.
And I had never played a Battle Royale. Never tried Fortnite. Never tried Apex or PUBG. Never tried them.
SOCOM back in the day?
SOCOM was amazing.
Okay, I was gonna say that's probably why you like Warzone, because I was like, my friends tried to get me into SOCOM, and I was like, first one out, like multiple rounds, and I was like, fuck this game. I like returned it. They were like, we can only give you a partial credit. I was like, I don't care, just get this out of my house. I don't want this game anymore. And then Warzone was very similar for me. I'm like, I'm out already. What the fuck is this? Like. So I respect anybody that can play those.
I can't do the Verdansk map. That's the big map. So those are 30 to 45 minute games.
Okay.
And you have one life, and then you die, go into the gulag. You can come back from that. If you don't, you're dead. Your teammate's got to buy you.
Okay.
I will hopefully never play on that map again. I've gotten 51 wins out of all the people I know. No one's even hit 30.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I haven't played it in over a year, and I'm still higher than everyone. I'm like, I'm proud. I'm done. I just get so, like you said, I'm not trying to sit there, spend 20 minutes doing stuff, die, and then have to wait. I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah.
So the one I do, it's called Rebirth Island. It's basically like multiplayer and Warzone mix. You drop in, you gotta loot, but if you die, as long as one teammate's alive, there's a timer to come back.
Okay.
And if you like get kills, the timer drops, and if you like open crates, the timer drops. So like you're basically just dying, coming back, and you'll do that like 5-10 times, and then still can get the win. Like, I've gotten a win, you'll drop, like, at the last circle, you'll drop with, like, an SMG.
Yeah.
And it's a base, shitty SMG. I dropped with that once and got the last kill with that and got the win. I didn't even pick up a gun. Yeah. So, like, that mode's a little, like, you can not be so sweaty.
Right. I feel, I'm just, like, wiping off my hands
like, people
or whatever.
You're just like, okay. Like, you die and you're like, okay. You're just like, come on. Like, I'm like, dude, I can't get like that anymore.
Yeah. I feel that.
And like I'm one of those people, like I'd be playing with people and like someone like will fly a chopper and crash it and blow it up and someone's like, bro, what the fuck? And I'm just like, you crashed the chopper, that's silly. I'm like, don't take it so serious, man. We're playing a video game. This is fucking Call of Duty. You're playing with 12-year-olds right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get mad.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll still get mad at dumb shit, but like I'm like, dude, just try and have fun, man.
Yeah.
Like it's a dumbass game.
Are there any other games that you've been more into, or you just kind of like you haven't had too much time to get into it?
Red Dead 2 I finally got into. I beat the story, played online. That game was a masterpiece. I've always liked the Elder Scroll games. Oblivion was my shit. And then I used to always like the Metal Gear Solid games. Yeah. Those were fucking amazing. Number 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then, I've been getting into kind of Resident Evil lately. I played the newer ones, and they're actually pretty scary. I fuck with them. Because I'm a horror guy through and through. Right. So, the one game, it literally just felt like a Rob Zombie movie mixed with, sci-fi stuff.
That's so cool.
And it was really fucking sick. So, yeah, I've I kind of play like a whole bunch of stuff. Usually don't end up hopping on trendy stuff other than Warzone.
Right.
I'm usually not too good at hopping on that stuff. And only reason I got Warzone is because my buddy, there's a practice mode where you can fight computers.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, you can do that. And it turns out it's not even like it's like they teach you how to do it. So it's not meant to be played more than once.
Right.
So like I downloaded Warzone, played that thinking I can play a battle royale with nothing but computers.
Right.
And like you can't. So then I was like, all right, I guess I got to try it. And then I fell into it.
Yeah.
So like, I actually got it because I thought it was going to be NPCs that I was playing.
Right.
But no. But yeah, no, like I said, like the Fallout games are heat.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Damn, I totally had a question. Oh, so being a horror person, do you have like favorite horror movie? Like good, and are you like into scary movies and stuff?
Scream is my favorite.
Okay. Love
I
Scream.
Watched it as a young kid and was obsessed with Scream 3 as a kid.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Scream, this year we went and actually I started watching like all the classics because there's a lot of classics I haven't seen because I don't like the old ones. I won't lie. I'm young. I like, it's not necessarily that I need to see blood and gore, but like if I see a dude like stab you and pull a knife out, like I'm trying to see some blood because it's like, that's just realistic.
Realistic, right.
I don't need it to be over the top, but I'm like, if like in the OG Halloween, you see him stab, there's no blood. They didn't have money for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, like I can't get into those, but I watched a lot of the classics this year.
Okay.
And I'm safe to say, yeah, like that solidified. I was like, yeah, Scream is my favorite because I thought Michael Halloween was my favorite.
Uh-huh.
After I finally sat and watched every single Halloween movie, God, are they, dude? I love them because I love Michael and like I love the thought of them.
Yeah.
Dude, they've trashed them. Like,
Did you watch Halloween Kills?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have hated on it. I liked it.
It was, if they would have, I guess they couldn't say this is a comedy, but I was laughing so hard at some of those scenes in there. I'm just like,
Dude.
Yeah.
So for people who don't like it, the one scene I can agree with that I can say ruined it, but I thought it was just funny.
Yeah.
Was when he kicked the door into the chick who was shooting him and she shot herself. I was
Yep.
like, bro. I actually laughed out loud in the theater.
Yeah.
Like-
I left when it's the same, or I guess when they're like, he's in the car and they're like in the parking lot and the guy walks out with the bat and he starts hitting the car and the dude's like, whoa, wait, hold up. That's my car. Like, why? He didn't get out. No, you're just banging my car. And then it just speds away. He's like, wait, my car. Like, this poor dude. He banged up the lights or whatever. And then the girl shot herself. And
Dude.
even the beginning where he killed his partner for no reason.
Yeah, when he shot
Like, in his neck. It's like,
damn, like, that sucks, bro. Like, you
Yeah.
slipped up on that.
yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, those I thought were my favorite. But yeah, watching them all, man, the timeline jumps in them. So they do, like, there's 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 1, 2, H2O Resurrection.
Yeah.
Then there's 3 as a standalone film. And then there's the new ones, which are 1, 2018, and the newest one. It's like,
Yeah.
they've just had so many different directors that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
They're rough. And then the only ones we haven't gone through yet I need to get through all the Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
The Nightmare on Elm Streets are heat because they at least kept Robert Englund in them. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those. Haven't seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original one yet, and then
Okay.
but yeah, like I'm a big fan of Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
His remake of Halloween 1 and 2 are my favorites. I'm in a Halloween fan group.
I think he did the best, honestly. I'll go on record saying that.
Halloween 2 is known as like one of the worst horror films, especially for Halloween, and I actually think it's one of the greatest just films.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because like the way I look at it, it's a horror film that they were like, hey, we're not focused on like a killer killing people. They were like, we're gonna focus on how much it fucked up this chick from the last movie.
Right, yeah.
And I
yeah.
was like, dude, that's fucking sweet. Like, it really, like, you see her PTSD, and I was
Right.
like, that's real. Like, that's awesome. So I loved that. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Rob Zombie.
Yeah. What's your favorite, I guess, Rob Zombie project?
Maybe Halloween 2, but 31 is an amazing movie, and it's
Yeah.
very like it's not really popular, but it's like a kind of like Hunger Games horror version. It's like these 5
Okay.
survivors get put in this place where they're like, hey, there's 5 killers in here who
That's
are
the
trying to
game
kill
or
you.
something, right? And the
Yeah.
killer makes it through the night.
Yeah, and so
that's
they're just
cool.
like, yeah, like you got to survive these 5 killers and
Yeah.
see if you make it. And I was like, dude, this is cool.
Yeah.
It was sick. And I like that Rob Zombie uses the same cast in every movie. There's like 8 actors that are in almost every single one of his movies.
Right.
Like, I like that because he's like they're all friends of his, and I feel like it makes the chemistry better.
Yeah, and it feels like it's similar. If I'm not like the biggest Adam Sandler fan, but I like that his movies. It's the same people.
Yes.
It makes me feel like I'm their friend and they're having fun doing this. And I can picture them enjoying it. Rob Zombie and them too. Just
yes, and that's what you said. That's actually perfect. I love stuff like that in movies where it's like I feel like they're friends on set, hanging out, making a movie.
Right.
So one movie perfect for that. This Is the End. If you haven't seen it.
Yes.
Dude, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Great movie. That had to have been so much fun to make.
Absolutely. So I'm curious then, are you more into the like killer slasher horror movies versus maybe the paranormal type stuff?
Yup. I like the paranormal a lot too. Like just this year I watched all the Conjurings and Annabelle movies. I had never seen them. Thought they were actually very top tier for modern horror.
Yeah.
Modern horror, the slashers aren't usually as good. Mm-hmm. This year they might be bringing it back though, because Halloween Kills was good, and then Scream comes out in January.
Right.
So I'm hoping, but yeah, I've definitely been a slasher guy because like as a kid I was obsessed with Michael and Ghostface on new levels. And then I went through phases with Freddy.
Yeah.
Never went through crazy shit with Jason, though. Mm-hmm. I've always thought he was badass, but just never went crazy with him. But yeah, so the slashers were like my go-tos as a kid. I was like, bro, this is crazy.
Definitely. And just before I forget, I would definitely recommend the Chainsaw Massacre. That's probably one of my favorite ones, just because even cinematography-wise, it's like beautifully shot, colored, and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen that one, the original one, if you can find like they have like remastered.
Yeah, and I know it's on. We found pretty much all the OG movies on. We have like every streaming thing.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I know it's on one of them because I know the cover from it is so iconic.
Right.
So like whenever I see that cover of him holding the chick, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also, have you seen The Collector?
No, that's one I've heard is pretty fucking good.
Check that one out.
Is it okay?
That's super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely recommend. It's kind of similar to like a Saw plus maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
But so I would definitely recommend that if you're into the more slasher, because there's maybe a drop of paranormal in it, but for the most part it's just reality, whatever. So
one movie you should and anyone else should check out. I just saw it. Kind of went under the radar. It's called Searching. It's from 2018, and it has the homie from Harold and Kumar.
Oh, okay.
And dude, he plays a serious role, and it's like a found footage style movie. It's not like someone filming though. It's all from his laptop. So you see like or his like phone when he FaceTimes people, you'll see it, or like you'll see like the camera on his laptop filming him, or like if he's searching stuff on his laptop, you see what's on his laptop.
Yeah.
And his daughter goes missing, and like without spoilers, this is from the trailer. He like at first, so she goes missing. He starts trying to contact everyone, trying to figure out, and he finds out like. No one really was friends with her. Like, she would do stuff with people, but no one was friends with her. She was a loner.
Yeah.
Then he found out, like, she quit her, like, piano lessons and was depositing all the money he'd give her every week into her account. And then she, like, took a deposit of $2,500 out. And then he's trying to figure out if she ran away or if she went missing.
Oh,
and, dude, it was the best movie I've seen in many, many years.
Man,
it was fucking phenomenal. But, yeah, it's called Searching. It was sweet.
Okay, what'd you watch it on?
I think we ended up having to buy it. I think we just got it on Amazon Prime or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was phenomenal.
That's awesome. My girl's big like horror movie person, so I've pretty much seen everything, but I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
we've been swinging a miss on all our movies we've been picking lately. So
I definitely recommend that one then. So
excellent.
You'll have to check out Searching, and I'll check out The Collector.
Perfect. And damn, I forget what I was gonna ask. So similar to horror movie stuff, similar to movies in general. Oh, that's right. So in listening to the other podcasts, like I said, somebody brought up something with like I forget where, I don't know where you guys were, but something was haunted and something was like whatever. So I was curious you're more geared towards the slasher films versus the paranormal. Is that because you've had any experiences? Have you had any experiences?
So I just like slasher just because I like I said, so I guess it might be something like just what like like I said with music, I like a front man.
Yeah.
With slashers, it's generally like you see a big dude, you'll see his face everywhere. I can get merch with him on it. With
merch with him on it.
Like I can get like my Ghostface merch and stuff. Like I can like get figures and all that cool stuff.
Right.
Where paranormal, like they usually have like an entity, but like it's generally not as much. It's more like the survivors that are like the leads.
Yeah.
And but like Ghost Adventures was, dude, I've never went more head over heels into something. Like, I was buying like voice recorders and that was why I caught this stuff. Like I was trying to like get into it. That's actually like That might be a little more like with like how I said with football, where I see that and I'm like, dude, I want to do it.
Right.
Like I want to go find a haunted house and I want to pull up and I want to catch something. Like,
right.
I want to see a chair get thrown across the. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Not that extreme. Because like I said, as much as like I'm a goth like edgy guy, I'm not trying to fuck with any negative spirits. I don't think that's smart. I've seen movies.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with them. I don't fuck with Ouija boards either.
Yeah, me neither.
Is like a big goth guy. That's one thing. Like my girlfriend and I have like gotten into it before because she's big into witchcraft, so she'll like she's not afraid of them. But I'm just like I'm afraid of them, bro.
Yeah.
And she's like, dude, it's not like the movies. I'm like, I don't care.
That's what they thought too. Like
yeah, that's it. I'm like that's it every time. Yeah. Every time you always got the dude, the boyfriend who's like, honey, you need to chill. This isn't anything. And she's sitting there like, I watched a demon walk out of this board and pick me up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's real. Like
exactly. So did you like you found some stuff? Or
yeah.
Like
So we caught an audio recording. So there was a room. So it was basically like there was a room that had a door in it, no windows. I went in that room.
Is this like where was this?
It was my old house.
Old house.
And
okay.
so there was a couple. It was a super old house. So like there was documented a few people had passed away there.
Okay.
Don't think it was anything like super negative.
Yeah, they just passed away in their house. Yeah.
And so we went down there. I was in that room, and then there was like a lock for like a padlock, like the hinge thing.
Yeah.
So that was on the outside of the door, and then my buddy was in a chair sitting up against the door. We both had a voice recorder, and you could hear like if you turned, you heard it like scraping on your clothes, like you heard everything.
Yeah.
And you hear me on his recorder ask a question, and then you just hear the padlock just smack, and then in mine like.
What did you ask?
I was like, it was just a simple like, I think I was like, Cecil, are you down here? Because I was the guy who died, and we just heard like a. And like it wasn't like strong. It was just like a super thin metal padlock just went and smacked. And so we were just like and just fucking bolted. We were like, fuck this. Like we ran upstairs and my mom was like, what did you guys do down there? I was like, it wasn't us. I was like, it wasn't us. But like that scared me as a kid. But like now I just find it really interesting. Like stuff doesn't scare me. Like my stepdad, he passed away inside of this house.
Yeah.
Definitely think he's here like because he was a very strong-willed and like also I don't think it's like an angry spirit, but like he was a I'm the man kind of guy. Right. So like there's times where we felt him. My girlfriend, like she said she can kind of feel his presence and like see him sometimes. Yeah. And then my favorite is Greg. One time when he was home alone, that's a bathroom right there.
Okay.
And he went in there. And we're allowed to smoke weed in here, but no blunts. Like my mom's like, no papers are burning in the house that sticks and stinks.
Right.
He was hiding in there and he was smoking a cigarette, which is way worse.
Way worse, for sure.
So he's pulling off smoking a cig. And then right when he finished, he walked out and that light started flickering and then just...
Like that one?
Yeah, the one above it. It started flickering and then just went out. Right when he walked out and he looked up and was like, okay, Mr. Mike. He was like, I know I fucked up. I'm sorry. And the best part though is at that time we had a point where me and my girlfriend, we were living at her mom's. We ended up moving out of here for like a couple months.
Yeah.
And then I would come home a lot see my dog Big Head. I would come and see him all the time. And I came home one day and no one was home and Greg was hanging out down here all the time. Dude, I grabbed every single like loose object, like this table, like all these chairs, like the computer. I grabbed every like end table. I grabbed everything and just stacked it in the middle of the room. Yeah. And then I left and then like I'm sitting home playing Warzone and then I get a call from Greg and he's like, bruh, were you at the house today? And I was like, I wanted to just say no so bad, but I could tell he was shook, and I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man, you caught me.
I was like, I did that. I was like, I had to, though, and he was like, oh, my God, thank you.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I walked down, and he's like, I just went upstairs, I smoked a dab, and sat down on the couch for like 10 minutes, and he was like, I didn't do nothing, I just sat down. And then he's like, then I could finally call you. He's like, I couldn't do anything, bro. Yeah. He was like, I was frozen.
Have you ever seen the Exorcism of Emily Rose?
Yep.
So my friend and I used to have a movie night. We would go over to like one of our friends' houses, and with the three of us, we'd watch like 4 movies back to back, like, you know, all night or whatever. So one of them was that. He had fallen asleep. We got a matchbook. We like lit a match and we like put it out, and we wake up. We're like, dude, do you smell burning? Like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, oh my God. Like, he starts freaking out. We're like, we lit the match or whatever. And so it was like, hopefully, you know, nothing comes back on us for doing that. But it was just like, don't ever pass out. You know, we're gonna do little pranks and stuff like that. But so I guess what have you had? I guess you have had a couple experiences. So you believe in ghosts, I guess, or like you think it's good, like the energy, or like you said, strong will or something like that?
Yeah, I definitely do. One show I kind of liked the idea of how they brought him was Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
They had a thing where it's like, so like the one dude, he like died, and then he was in like the in-between realm where he was like basically walking around in our world.
Yeah.
And no one could see him, but he could see everything, and like he was trying to like his brother, he was trying to like tell him what was wrong, like because his brother was like, all right, like what's going on, and he was like, or like Sam, it's this, and he was trying to tell him and he couldn't.
Yeah.
And so then at one point he realized he could knock over a bottle of water, so he did, trying to get his attention.
Okay.
And then the Reaper came to him and was like, hey, look, you have to pass. And she was like, look, she was like, what's going to happen is you're going to be trying so hard to get their attention, and you're not going to. You're going to steadily get more angry and do more angry things. And that is what will turn you into an angry spirit. She's like, you need to accept and you need to pass over. And so he was like, no, like I can reach to him. So then like, yeah, he like grabs his like cup of water and like slams it on the ground and shatters it. So then they're all freaking out. They're like, there's a demon here. And he's just trying to be like, dude, like, no, I'm here. And so she's like, look, that's how spirits become angry.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be mean. They're just trying to say, hey, I'm still here with you, and they can't accept that they died. They don't want to leave. So I was like, damn. I was like, that's kind of cool. I don't necessarily think it's like that, but I was like, just kind of like just kind of cool little explanation for it. I was like, I fuck with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess shifting gears one more time, what can we look forward to from Slim Reaper like in the future? Maybe this next coming year.
So let's just check right now.
Oh shit.
Let me make sure. So right now, hold on. It should be out. I was trying to be. Oh, that's the wrong. I had to click the Slim Reaper with no spaces. Okay, so it is out now. I released a song in honor of the podcast today. I know the podcast won't be coming out today. But I did release a song called Slow-Mo today, or is it Slow-Mo? I can't remember. Yeah. I think it's Slow-Mo.
You have to go look it up. I guess we don't know.
And so it is out. I just checked on Apple. It's out now. So that song is out. Definitely one of my more favorites. Pro G mixed it for me, and it was one of them where like I got to get a more like B-roll music video. I want to shoot a music video. Yeah. So that's one thing I want to get into. I want to just start making really shitty music videos. Just film my own. I don't care if it's good. Yeah. And just start putting out more music videos. And then I do want to drop one more project this year. And then I was actually going to say, when we're done here, I want to go through my laptop and show you a couple of my more favorite songs. Yeah. And I was going to say, have you pick my next release.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. I feel like sometimes people give me, like, their worst song, and I'm like, no, why can't we do this one? And
I'm going to...
Man, I love that.
I'm going to let you pick one that you kind of fuck with. I have, like, any style. Who knows what it'll be. I have... Because you know how I kind of go everywhere. I even have, like, an 80s song on backlog right now.
That one, yeah.
So, yeah, I got that on there. Some emo shit, some heavy shit. So, I'll let you pick that. So, I got that coming out. And then, I want to drop another EP. And then, I think next year I want to start getting... My goal right now is I need to lock in a couple producers. Mm-hmm. So any producers out there, if you're willing to work, I would love to. I am all about paying any artist that I work with. Yeah. I love making sure, especially if like there's someone who can't get their feet off. If I can help you out selling some beats, I'll buy some beats from you. I want to get a couple of producers, like 5 producers that I can make like kind of like my go-to. Yeah. And get them in my corner. And then all of us kind of work together where, like, they can do anything that they want. Yeah. But, like, I can also just be like, hey, you guys, I want to get known where, like, I have a known bond with this producer. Right. And then get, like, I want to start releasing projects where it's, like, we can get, like, instead of just YouTube beats, I want to be able to get, like, we can all get full rights where anytime I make money, like, you're getting a cut of it. And then, like, we're doing this stuff together. And, like, just try and build, like, a base with a couple producers because I want to start getting, like, a real, like, real sound down where it's like my heavy sounds are all this because there's a YouTube producer. Almost every heavy song I do now is a producer named Grisgrammer. Okay. And so, but I've reached out to him a few times. I don't think he's big on social media. He doesn't really actively post, so I just haven't got a hold of him yet. But yeah, I just want to find a few people that I can really lock down. We can all start working together and then just kind of create like a thing and then get an actual like my first real like album over a mixtape. Like I want my first album. Yeah, so we can look forward to that probably this year, like 2022. Yeah, like probably 2022 early, and then like I said, another EP or mixtape though this year for sure, because I have a lot of music, and then after the Blossom show, I was finally like, you know what, I went and bought the like pro plan for DistroKid, so I was like, I can pick my release date and have them on set dates. Because what I used to do is I'd upload it, wouldn't announce it, upload it, it'd be posted on like Apple and everything, and then once it hit Spotify, I'd be like, okay, it's out now. And like, then I post it on SoundCloud and be like, it's here. Yeah. Now I can be like today I was like 4 p.m. like November 16th. So I'm gonna start trying to like organize and then like plan everything and be like, okay, I'm doing this for that date, and then I do have 2 features with Gizmo I'm going to be releasing. Nice. They are better than the ones I have out now because like my big fan favorite song right now is my like biggest one is a song with Gizmo. Yeah. Definitely think both of them are better than it. And then one of them has an artist named Oni Inc. on it. And I have been meaning to drop it for like 3 months now, and I'm really bad at it. I need to get some dope cover art, which I have an artist I can get it for. Yeah. And then I need an AMV. So yet again, if there's anyone who makes AMVs, willing to pay, I support any artist. I will pay for anything. I want to get an AMV made for that and release that because that song is actually like, I know a lot of artists will say this a lot. I have a song that I like more. It's called Sit Down. One of my favorite songs I've made. It's heavy as shit, but like this song with Gizmo and Oni is my heaviest verse. My lowest like guttural like it's my heaviest hitting song. Sapphire produced it he did real guitar on it. All right. And dude, it's fucking amazing. That's one song that I'm really excited to share. Excellent. So I got those 2 coming here soon too.
Do you have any dates that we could look forward to for those, or do we want to keep it a mystery?
Yeah, probably keep it a mystery for now, just because my ass will set a date and maybe not drop it on then. Yeah. Because like I said, I want to get an AMV because I want to drop it with the AMV, and because I haven't really done that much, and that song's really heavy. I want to get some like brutal ass AMV made for it and be like, all right, and then I want to dip my toes into that too. Yeah. The anime music videos are really cool. So.
Do you have an anime picked out for the video already? Like, do you have one you're picturing?
So I have to go to Greg Jones for that. Who is Greg Jones? Okay. He is a big anime fan. The reason I haven't done much with animes is because I am actually not a super big anime fan. Okay. I just haven't really like delved too deep into it yet. Yeah. So I just don't really know, but
you like, enjoy watching like an animated music video.
I think they're really cool. So that's why I'm saying like I definitely want to, like I said, I want to dip my toes into it. Yeah. But one thing I do, if I'm gonna get into something, I want to know about it. I'm not just gonna be posting animes and be like, I don't actually watch it. Like, I want to like find one that I like. I know he said he thinks I'll like I think Demon Slayer. Okay. So that's gonna be the one I'm gonna check out.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I haven't started that one yet, so I have a couple that I have to finish before that. But I heard Demon Slayer is really good.
What would you say is one of your more favorites that you could recommend?
So. Well, I guess if I'm trying to match it to the song, haven't heard the song, so I don't know what might fit. But Mob Psycho 100 is probably something. I used it, if you ever saw my one I did for Nell and Almighty Jab, but I used clips from that one into that one because it was like, he's like this little kid, and once he gets really angry, he kind of like pops off and he can't control his powers, but he's like killing everybody like with his psychic powers. That's got some good like energy fight scenes. Yeah.
What would you say is one of your more favorite animes?
Naruto. Yeah. Like, I kind of grew up when he came out. He was like 10 years old, and I was like the same age, like related to him really heavy. So then I grew up with him through that whole year. So I think him really good. Bleach just as an introductory to.
That's one of them. Yeah. I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of people say to check out Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach kind of shaped my life because I got in a bunch of trouble for watching Bleach as a kid, but then it also led to, which I like kind of got it. It's one of my like greatest stories, but I without spoiling, I guess the story, I used Bleach to fake speaking in tongues in my church. So had I not been in Bleach, I don't know what the hell I would have done in this situation because I used not memorized that theme song. Who knows how that would have played out? So I got a little special part for Bleach in my heart. And like Basilisk is like an older one.
I haven't heard of that one, so I might check that one out.
Yeah, Basilisk, it's like an older, like maybe 90s style, but it's basically every episode it's these two families that are feuding for like they have a contest. And it's like we picked our 12 fighters, every episode just they're dying, just fighting.
That sounds pretty fucking heat then. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So
I can fuck with that.
No shortage of action in every episode and a little plot twists and stuff. So recommend that. I guess have they recommended anything for you to get into?
I've heard Demon Slayer is Ichigo the one from Demon Slayer? Oh, you haven't watched it.
I haven't
yeah,
watched
you haven't
it
watched
yet.
it, so you wouldn't
Ichigo's
know.
from Bleach, but he.
Oh,
was
Ichigo. Okay, so yeah,
in
then
Demon
Bleach
Slayer
is
too.
that's the one I've heard a lot because I know Ichigo. What? There was I can't. There's one I recently Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, I
watched some of that
Cowboy
with
Bebop.
this one homie out in Atlanta, Jetstar. He got me hip to it.
That's like classic. Yeah, that's like.
I was fucking with it. The only thing that made me be like, I could not watch this show is, bro, the intro is so long.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, bro. But like the show was heat, but I was just like, bro, this is like 5 minutes.
It is. It's really long and it's very repetitive and yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, that show seemed pretty heat. I can't lie. And then my girlfriend was watching one where it was something about with a bunch. I wasn't watching it with her. She was watching one she was saying there was a bunch of time travel in it, and then like where they would like break the fourth wall a bunch too. And I was like, okay, I like anything with that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I was like, I like anything with that. That sounds cool. So
yeah, that's sweet.
But I can't think of the name of it.
Okay, if you ever find out, let me know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you shouldn't check out Samurai Champloo if you like Cowboy Bebop at all.
Let me write that down.
Samurai Champloo. It's the same dude that did voice for Spike. He does the same voice for the main character of this also, and it's not the same story, but it's Cowboy Bebop is in the future in space, but with like that jazz kind of feel. And Samurai Champloo is like samurai, but with hip hop and like rap and stuff like that. And it's very similar, like to Clash of Cultures kind of. But it's the same voice of both. So if you like one, you'd probably like the other one.
Oh yeah, and then I wrote that one down in Basilisk. I want to check that out because you said it's a little more underground, and I usually I end up liking stuff that's like not super popular because generally I feel like when someone's making something that's not a big budget, they're pouring more of themselves into it.
Yeah, and I don't know where you could watch it, but I do have every episode on like a flash drive if you ever want them.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bet.
Sweet. What else do we need to know? You got any other shout outs you want to do?
Just want to give a big shout out to my boys in Another Lost Cause. I would not fucking be here without you guys. Like that literally they're my best friends in every way, shape, or form, and they are the only reason I do this because of the amount of love they've given me. And rest in peace to our brother Who Killed CJ. You can find his music, just Who Killed CJ. He has a bunch of amazing production on Apple Music, Spotify, and everything. You can find it all on there. And then just shout out the Bae Oros. You can find her music. She's got a few features out there. I got a song on my SoundCloud with her. And yeah, shout out my man's right here, Matahachi.
Hey,
thank you for having me for real. Like this was awesome. This has been my favorite one yet.
Yes,
dude, it was so fucking like I just feel like we were just talking.
Yeah,
that's what I love. That was what was dope about the one with Phantom Fleet is once we got on the car salesman shit, I was just like, bro, every car dealership's the same. Like, here we go. Here we go. Like, that shit was awesome. So, yeah, it was awesome. Like, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me, bro.
Appreciate the time. We'll say cut.